Hello and welcome. This is Monday Night Going in Raw, episode number 115. I am Netlfilx and P2BR right here with you, me, everybody in the place to be reviews, even the Orthodox Jews. How you doing, everybody? Thank you for joining us. We got a great panel this evening. I am joined by one new panelist, one more possibly on the way. I don't know if I got feedback. That's me. All right. And hey, that's we work on the fly here. And yeah, who fucked that up?
You have done that yourself.
That's on me. Don't blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the edibles. But anyway, I was in the middle of introductions. Next to me over here, I'm poking a big bear. That is making his return, the Appalachian American.
Well, hello and good evening. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for coming back on. It's been a minute since you've been on the podcast proper. Seth goes all the way back to the Anchor days when we first started the show in early 2019. So thanks for coming on tonight, bro. Appreciate it.
On the old Anchor.
Oh, God, that was such a nightmare working with that. I'm so glad we did this. Anyway, we'll move along. In the bottom right-hand corner of your screen as you face it, he is my brother from another mother. My mutter's a mutter. The Groovinator.
What's up, everybody? It's the Groovinator from RaidersLostFlix.com. Remember, if it's a bad movie, we want to know about it. Glad to be back on the place to be reviews with all the U's.
Thanks for joining us, Groove. And next to him, making his debut, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm place to be reviews. Welcome in the chat to It's a Vase Productions.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Vase from It's Vase Productions. Do all kinds of reaction videos, editing, music videos, trailers from popular movies. I know you just saw the one I did using the Wonder Woman 1984 teaser trailer music and setting it to the Phantom Menace. And I'm planning on doing that for Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then 4, 5, and 6 as well.
Yeah, dude, that was great. I was like, oh God, this fits so well. Yeah. And I've always wanted to ask somebody that does stuff like that. How do you get around copyright doing that?
As far as I know, like either my YouTube channel, it just says like anything earned would just go to the copyright holder.
Okay.
So I usually don't have to worry about that. As far as like the movies go, that becomes like fair use because you're like cutting it up and everything and usually not using a lot from the movie itself. And that's actually one of the reasons I'm so excited that we have so many trailers to talk about today is that we can, talk about some of that stuff. Like the nature of trailers is to make a movie look good. So sometimes these trailers come out and you're like, yeah. And then you see the movie and you're like, how? The trailer was so good.
Last
Godzilla
Jedi. Last Jedi. Right? God damn it.
We call it Last Jedi syndrome, but yeah.
Last dumpster fire, as it were.
Anyway.
But
like Suicide Squad was another one.
Oh.
Had that amazing trailer that got everybody hyped up with the Queen song. It was like, oh, this is going to be great. And then we saw it and it was like, whoa.
Hang on one second. General Katarn, he messaged me. There we go. All right, let's see. I'm going to shoot him the invite in Twitter. So we had a big show tonight. We're going to talk about DC fandom, break down some of those trailers. I'm not going to show them because I don't want to deal with it. I get clipped every time I show something. I had a stream struck down for showing a 35-year-old wrestling match. Got pulled down right in the middle of it when I was doing the wrestling podcast. So I just I was like, okay, we're not doing this. We're not doing this anymore. So I had to stop showing matches.
But hey, we finally got through Prisoners of the Lost Universe. Remember that?
Oh my God.
Take it down twice right in the middle of it, dude.
Yeah,
you were there.
That was a friggin' nightmare.
Like, what's going on?
It's like
a public domain movie. What's the problem?
Yeah, it's like this shouldn't be happening here. There we go. All right. We've given General Katarn the link. He should be joining us shortly. And so the first we've went through introductions. Now we can kind of get into this return to the box office, as it were. Now there's a couple. I know Bill and Ted's opening this weekend, and holy shit, New Mutants is finally opening. Supposedly there's like 4 days left, so they'll probably pull it from theaters again. But
oh wow,
yeah, I could not believe.
I totally forgot about that movie. Like for a second.
I'm like, I've been waiting for this movie for so freaking long. I'm like,
isn't what's her face? Arya Stark, isn't she in it?
Yep, the little girl, Maisie. She's like,
Maisie,
Maisie Williams or whatever. She's like 18 now. I think she filmed that movie like when she was like probably 14 years old or something like that.
Holy cow!
I think the lifespan of that movie rivals the development of Duke Nukem Forever. Remember?
Oh God, yeah, that was in production for fucking ever, man.
Most of people's lifetimes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, people were born and died waiting for that movie to come out.
It makes it hard to do reshoots when the children have gone through puberty, other people have died.
Yeah.
Well, there's always special effects.
Now they can just reface it. So.
We'll fix it in post.
Hey, Joss Whedon, what are we gonna do about Cavill's mustache? We'll CGI it out in post. Fuck it.
That's so. It was.
Thank you, man.
That was the worst.
How much money? And now you see what they do. Like, people can do it on their cell phones better than that movie did.
You can deep
Henry
fake.
Cavill.
Hey there, kids.
Do you bleed?
Thank you, ma'am.
Do you bleed?
That was ridiculous.
Oh,
Do you
God.
bleed?
Yeah. Okay. So here, all right, we'll screen share this. Here are some openers for this weekend. All right, let's see. And if you guys see, because words are hard. I'm sorry. I'll be screen sharing this, so won't be able to see mine. If Katarn jumps in, let me know, and I'll throw him in the mix here. But so you can see right here, we're in Box Office Mojo. We've got New Mutants, Centigrade, The Hole, oy vey, bye. Bill and Ted Face the Music, Still Here, House of Carden, and The Personal History of David.
More like The Wrong Hole.
Oh, The Personal History of David Copperfield. Wrong.
Man, without that last name, it was just like
The Personal History
David
of David
is such a common. The Personal History. Who cares?
So which David are we talking about here?
Yeah,
David and Goliath.
The Hole feels more like somebody's porn search history. Am I right?
Right.
Run. Let's see. We got then we got September 3rd. We got My Brother's Crossing and Tenet.
I don't.
Let's Fear Farm.
My kingdom to anybody that can tell me what Tenet's about.
I was about to say, does anyone?
Anyone?
I have no idea. Armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world, a protagonist journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time.
I like.
Okay, so Mission Impossible 8. Gotcha.
They capitalize protagonist.
Yeah.
A protagonist.
I was like, so is that his name? Is that his proper name?
That's probably his rank in this movie. Like, what? I'm a protagonist. I am set by the order of protagonists to be a protagonist in a movie.
And I'm the antagonist. Look out for me. I'm antagonizing.
Right?
Nolan is a genius.
Look at this. Oh, the Conjuring comes out.
The Devil Mad.
The devil made me do the
Devil
Conjuring. The devil mad. That devil
mad.
Ooh, child, that devil mad.
They said the alligators are angry. Got too many teeth.
Colonel Sanders
is the devil.
Cajillionaire.
There's crawdads in there.
The King's Man. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, this weekend we got it's you got a couple. The only, like I said, this and Bill and Ted are the ones I'm still, whichever one's closer to me, I'll probably go see on Saturday. Because
when's Dune supposed to be coming out?
November? Maybe
November. Okay.
Let's see, here we go. We'll see. August.
Just because we were talking about that, I had no idea what the
$160 million budget and no fucking marketing. None.
Yeah, have they haven't dropped? Did they drop a trailer?
No, they
Okay.
have not.
And
And
it goes out to the
tomorrow's
September.
video will be exactly about that, Pete.
maybe they're waiting for like Tenet to come out.
God damn, it's like I'm sitting here, I'm like, what?
But
Yeah, Dune is supposed to be this sweeping epic, man. I'm kind of like I said, I've seen the 1984 one, like I saw it a long time ago.
Right, Dune
Haven't
is
watched
supposed
it
to be
since,
coming
but-
out the end of this year. We don't have a trailer for it. The Batman comes out whenever we have a trailer for it.
question mark.
What is Dune
Priorities,
about?
all right. That's what I'm going to say.
I've
Priorities.
never even heard of Dune.
Really?
Yeah.
Not the book too.
It's a book that came out in '63. Actually,
It's old.
published in '65, and
Yeah.
it's a science fiction story that is actually older than Star Wars. But they made a movie out of it in 1984, and then they made a made for sci-fi TV series, which I recommend over the movie in 2000 for the Sci-Fi Channel. That one's one you want to look up. If you go to YouTube and type in Dune, you can watch that for free.
Oh wow.
Okay. Cool.
Like I said, I've been meaning to try to watch that. I haven't yet though. Hail Flare X. Let's see. Keely Chow. Thank you, Tommy Gladden. Thank you for joining us,
What's up,
everyone.
Tommy?
Thank you. Be sure to bitch slap that like button like it owes you money. And yeah, that's what we do. I'm kind of stalling, waiting for Katarn to jump in, but I don't want him to come in, you know, while we're already inside Brie Larson. Then he's gonna be lonely, you know, waiting for us.
Wait a minute, we're gonna be inside Brie Larson.
We have to go inside Brie Larson. We do it every week. I forgot to put in the production notes. Hazmat suits are necessary.
Did we get Nick's permission?
You know, I think we have a good enough relationship to where we can drop a few bows on his Bismotti bitch and he'll be just fine with it. She'll be just
strong woman though. Are you going to be able to get inside of her? She keeps us out.
Oh, you know, I think we'll be good. Here he is. Hey, ladies and gents.
What's up?
Joining us. Better late than never. He is General Katarn making his debut right here on the Place to Be Reviews.
Thanks for having me on, man. Nice seeing you again, Vase. And hey, buddy. Nice meeting you two guys.
Yep, Appalachian American, Groovinator. This is General Katarn. Like I said, he's joining us from overseas, so I do appreciate you you staying up late and doing the show with us tonight, my brother. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, man.
No, I appreciate the invite, so thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. And the links, if the links aren't, I believe, like I said, I had to switch up stuff. I'm going to edit it, post to make sure everybody's links to their channels are in the description to the video, so you can later go on in and make sure you're subscribed to these guys, because they make great content, and that's what this is all about, man. This is Fandom Menace. Hail Fandom Menace. So absolutely, man. And speaking of Fandom Menace, something we like to do in the Fandom Menace is we got our girl, we got our queen bee, Brie Larson. So right now, I recommend that you strap on your seat belts, put your hazmat suits on, get your hand sanitizer and your masks ready, because we are going to take a deep dive inside Big Rig Nick Utam's Basmati Babe, Brie Larson. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do it.
Hi. Hello. I'm starting a YouTube channel.
The power of Christ compels you.
That's so funny.
We are now inside Brie Larson, and it's very moist and damp. But you know why we do it?
Because that's what heroes do.
And we've got some stuff to talk about this evening with Queen Brie. Excuse me, words are hard. Like I said, I'm having issues here. So we're gonna take a look at this article here from the Diz Insider. And we're going to talk a little bit about Cat Pan Mediocre 2. And and then now I figure if I've got my wrench wenches watching the chat this evening, this is where our buddy's going to show up. This is where my boy will show up.
Oh, he is waiting to pounce. Yeah,
he is. I'm waiting for him. Come on, Deshaun. Come on, Deshaun. Leave your comments. Bring your bots. It's fine. We're all good, man. Like I said, if you want to troll, you better bring your A game with me, because if not, I'll eat you for lunch. So let's pop on over here.
Start trolling.
Oh, dude, it's beautiful. It's the same guy, and he's got like 80 bot accounts. It's beautiful. So Cat Pan Mediocre 2 set to film in the UK. This came out August 21st, a couple days ago, from Skylar Schuler. And just a couple weeks after Marvel Studios tapped Nia DaCosta from Candyman, which didn't need to be remade, it's Jordan Peele, which terrifies the fuck out of me, because the original Candyman is actually good. And yeah, to direct Cat Pan Mediocre 2, it looks like the film will be heading overseas for the production on the sequel to the billion-dollar hit film. Can they please stop touting that was $1 billion? I know, okay, that made $1 billion, all right? But like I said, at one point, people bought pet rocks and Ford probes and thought that was a great fucking investment too.
It was also the Marvel movie that came out before Endgame.
Yes.
There's no way that movie could have failed.
No.
And that's why they stuck it there.
That is the most protected movie.
Exactly. I mean, Big Mouth Billy Bats and Beanie Babies were a thing too, but what's your point?
Yeah. Jesus. I mean, you seen what if any of you watch The Sopranos, Tony's bartender got one of those Big Mouth Billy Basses, and they beat the fuck out of him with it. I mean, I'd like to take a Marvel Legend and smack Brie Larson in the chops with it sometimes, but I don't, because it'd probably go to jail for it, even though she deserves it. Just for that punk ass picture she took in memory of Stan Lee. I'm still stinging over that, you narcissistic bitch. Anyway, But so according to Murphy's Multiverse, the studio has registered a production company in the UK, which indicates parts in the film will be shot in the UK, likely at Pinewood Studios and other parts of Europe. So I say this. Okay, so we can stop screen sharing this. I want to talk to you guys about the the secret invasion angle now that they're going to use in this, because they really botched the Skrulls in the first one. I've watched the movie now. I hate it. It's probably one of the most boring MCU movies.
Still haven't seen it.
I did a Is It Woke video on it, and like I said, it's just bad. It's boring. Anna Fleck and Ryan Bowden had no idea what they were doing.
I tried to watch it. I really did. 3 minutes into the movie, I'm like, yeah, this is boring already. Just no prejudice. No prejudice. It's just like it didn't feel like a Marvel movie. If I didn't see the Marvel logo, I would have forgotten that I'm watching a Marvel movie.
Well, did you see Critical Drinker? He's been doing the thing where he fixes.
Yes.
He did it on Captain Marvel, and I did watch that. And I was, he lays out the problems, and then I'm like, why don't we just? They should literally. He should be working on some movies. But.
He's a very, very well articulated individual when it comes to what he does. Well, that he's a writer.
It is Monday morning quarterbacking as well. I get that. So
isn't he like a legit writer?
Yes, he is. He's a writer.
That's why he's there, because if he was a hack, he would be celebrated.
Yep. Yep. That's it. They'd be like, "Wait, you're just a yes man who's going to do whatever Kevin Feige lays out for you." Here's a Marvel movie.
You checked that box.
Yep, that's it, man. That's just like I said, Nia DaCosta. Okay, I don't know her body of work. She did a movie called Into the Woods, I believe, and the Candyman reboot, which, like I said, that it's like, why would you reboot Candyman? It doesn't, especially by Jordan Peele. And I'm sorry,
anything.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, how many reboots have we seen that are actually worth their salt? I mean, what? I mean, Scarface with Al Pacino in '83.
I had mentioned this about the reboot thing, Pete, and you brought me to a good point to where I can bring it up again. The reason there's so many reboots right now is the entertainment landscape is so wide now. Like you just got this giant spectrum of iPhone apps, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, the Peacock now. You have all these different ways in which you can watch movies. You can watch entire TV shows in one sitting. To get anybody to go, what it is the entertainment business knows that people won't go to the movie theaters anymore. They're not interested. They're checked out. They don't want to spend the money. If they spend money, they want to go to something that they recognize.
Yeah.
So they go to something like, oh, Jurassic Park. I remember that used to be a thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, Charlie's Angels used to be a thing, except nobody went to that one. So that one failed. But the reason you keep getting all these reboots is they want brand recognition. So most of the time, they just want to make these things so that they don't lose the property. Yeah. So sometimes they come out and there's just like no effort put into them whatsoever. But at other times, they want to take these properties and hang some other kind of a story on it and, put out some kind of an agenda or whatever. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But people generally as a whole don't go to the movies as much as they used to. So that's why it's like beat you over the head marketing and endless reboots and sequels.
Why would they get in the theaters? Because we want to go to watch movies because we want to escape things. When we get lectured at work by our families, by our husbands, wives, children, mothers, fathers, we're like, oh, fuck this, I'm going to go and watch a movie. And then you sit down, you're eating your popcorn, and you're like, this is good. I haven't done this in a long time. And then you get, respect women, okay? Men are bad.
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah, cultural appropriation. Whenever someone tells me cultural appropriation, I'm like, we gave you democracy and basically everything Western culture related. I'm Greek, so you're appropriating my culture. So go back to the Stone Age.
I was going to say, yeah, you're Greek, so it's like, yeah, thank you. Hey, math, yeah. You're welcome.
Philosophy.
We'd still be fucking counting rocks. I mean, seriously.
I do believe that the pandemic, though, is going to maybe put a little bit of a check on a lot of these like blockbuster business models, because now every movie has to make at least $1 million or they won't spend any time on it whatsoever. So you have to do all this box checking when you make
They
something.
have to write now. They have to do good writing now.
Yeah.
You have to pander to all these multiple audiences. You have to market to all these different groups and put these characters in that don't belong because X group won't go to this movie if this group isn't represented.
It's going to show the world that, you know what, the people that we're pandering to, come on, you were pandering to them. Make money off of the people you were pandering to. Kathleen Kennedy, come on. Make some money off of the women. But nope.
Dude,
it's like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers said, they just scream on Twitter, but they will not spend a single dollar.
Thank you. It's
not
free.
even merch, nothing.
Tweeting is free. That's why they do it.
You think a Disney Star Wars fan would build a lightsaber like this from scratch? Hell no.
They just go out and buy one.
No, they'd buy the $15 Toys R Us, the plastic one.
I buy the blade builders because me and my kid break them like at least like every 2 weeks. I mean, we'll buy like 2 for like the season. 2 or 3 of them, you know, maybe 4, and bust them up, and then next year get a couple more. It's like when he's a little bit older, I'm gonna start getting like the ultras, and because I've played around with a few of those competitive ones that you can actually like bang on, and yeah, those are fun. Those are fun.
These ones are made for full contact dueling, not like the ones that you get in let's say like the stores which have an LED strip inside the blade. Which means that after one good hit, the LED is just so fragile that it's going to have like a gap in between your lightsaber in your blade, and it's going to look like a smile without teeth, and that's not good.
It looked like Brie Larson. Anyway, so no, to kind of correlate this back to Marvel, though, we were talking about that. So the whole thing they're doing, like you said, retreads, reboots. So you got Nia DaCosta now. You got a new director coming in, and she's supposed to take this franchise, which nobody really wanted. Well, okay, let me strike that back. Now, Captain Marvel as a character since 2012 and Kelly Sue DeConnick has been shit. The comic is shit. You go before that, you go back to Carol Danvers' Miss Marvel, you know, when she was actually like a woman and not like Captain Karen with a fucking brush cut. It was, the books were good. They were not great, but they were readable. They were enjoyable. It wasn't as much SJW bullshit as you get now and straight up just intersectional feminism. This movie, go ahead, Vase. I
was gonna say Marvel and the people in charge, and we were just talking about like social justice and inflicting that into stuff. They saw an opportunity. They said, "We're Marvel or Disney, like we're Marvel. We have a character who's Captain Marvel, strong woman. Marvel, Captain Marvel, strong woman. It's an unbeatable combination."
Yep.
This was doomed from the beginning because since 2008, when you got Iron Man and the huge success of the beginning of the MCU, by the time you reach 2012, by the time you reach 2012, you have the first ensemble live action hero for a superhero movie. Okay, you get the Avengers 2012, and in October 2013, I believe, George Lucas was like, okay, screw it, take Star Wars. And then Marvel's like, okay, we own Disney's like, we own the 2 biggest properties. Now, they were doing good with Iron Man, with the MCU was starting off with Iron Man, and they were hoping that maybe that they could do the same thing with Star Wars. But the agenda thing was always an underlying thing. They always wanted to push that.
Yeah.
Okay. But they needed strong male leads like, Robert Downey Jr. They needed these guys. So when they come to me, with their feminist bullshit, I'm like, yeah, if it wasn't for the powerhouse masculine names to actually solidify and root the MCU into place, this would not have started. Do you think that we could have had an MCU if they took it by chronological order and they started off with Captain Marvel?
No.
Absolutely not.
If you started with like Captain Marvel, and you couldn't have like Lady Thor. You couldn't, and that's what kills me. They're doing the Mighty Thor, and it's like, well, she's the Mighty Thor. No, bitch, I got a Mighty Thor comic over there from like the 80s, and it was Thor, Odin's son, not fucking Jane Foster, this 2014 Jason Aaron shit. No, the Mighty Thor is still Thor, and I don't care what the hammer, whoever wields this has the power of Thor. You don't get Thor's name. That's his goddamn name. Okay, that whole thing. And now
what is it with women and identity theft today? I mean, Rey has to be a Skywalker.
Yep.
You need
That was
female
just-
core.
They have to climb on top of a hill that somebody else already built.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Because
But at the same time, they constantly try and knock down the hill and act like they just made it to the top
They're
by
like-
themselves. They're like, that hill doesn't exist. It's actually a
They're
piece
like,
of crap.
men
It's
are
like you're
bad.
standing on it.
Yeah, then if men are bad, why are you basing all of this off of a male character?
Yep.
Why don't you base it off Valkyrie, who is a female character in of its own? Because people don't care about Valkyrie.
Nobody cares about Valkyrie. Tessa Thompson is a stupid. I'm sorry, that
Oh,
she's
yeah.
a stupid bitch. Like she just does
She
not know when to
supported the
keep her
Cuties
mouth
movie.
shut. Just
She
shut
supported
up,
the
Tessa.
Cuties movie
Yes.
because the lead character was a person of color.
Yep.
So she could get pedo raped, but as long as it was a person of color. And if she was raped, you know what it would have been? It was a white hate crime because she was targeted because she was a person of color. You see, they get to choose what they're proud and what they're disgraced about. So whenever the lead is attacked or in some way is in trouble, it's white people's fault. Okay.
I don't understand why the fembots are always coming after geek culture as it is. Because as far as I know, we were ahead of the curve a long fucking time ago.
Geek
Back-
culture
back-
has always been progressive.
Horror movies always had the final girl. All right. Star Trek had the first black captain, Captain Sisko. All right. And the first female captain, Captain Janeway on the Voyager. Back in the fucking 90s. This is old news. Why do you have to preach to the people that don't need to be preached to?
Yeah.
Take your battle somewhere else.
And if you read like the expanded universe, which we threw out the window for like Star Wars, like, hey, there's tons of great characterization and stuff there. Growing characters, female characters, Jaina, who kills her brother, who turns evil. Is that not good enough for you? Is that not strong woman enough for you? And she's trained by both. I mean, that whole arc there, if they could have done any of that.
I'm watching Deep Space Nine right now because I admit, confession, geek, I got to confess to the Geek Collective, I never watched Deep Space Nine all the way through. I'm doing it now.
I'm not a Trekkie, so
better late than never.
I'm
all
not.
right?
I'm not a Trekkie.
I own The Next Generation. I adore them. I'm watching Deep Space Nine. Not all of them are great, but some of them are so great. Like just I just forgot that TV used to be so great as it is. Great stories, longer seasons, episodic, so every week was a different story. You cut through all the bullshit. You deliver a nice, neat, tight story. Nowadays, you have one boring story stretched over an entire season of about 8 episodes. It's so sad the way, but those stories under Rick Berman and the old Star Trek on Deep Space Nine, I love it. I absolutely am enjoying the hell out of watching Deep Space Nine because you forget how good that storytelling used to be versus what we get now.
No,
A lot of times now they just substitute it with technology. They think if we can make this spectacle enough, then it won't really matter.
Explosions.
I mean,
Explosions. And then we throw in some, three-dimensional computer-generated Gugas and put them with Chris Pratt. That's what everybody does these days. But
Don't forget the lens flare.
Like
Lens flares.
we've got the holy they've got like the holy squad of Chris's. Like, oh, we need Chris Pine for DC. We need Chris Hemsworth and Pratt for MCU. And who else? There's another Chris, I think.
Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, Chris Pine,
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth.
Very common name. My name's Chris. So
Okay.
My last name has Chris in it too. So
it's actually short for Christ, which is also short for Christopher. I usually go by Chris.
Either way, right?
Chris
It's
Christ.
good. It's good.
Yeah.
So
Go on, Chris. Hey, what's up?
So how bad do you think they're going to butcher doing this secret invasion in this movie? Now you got Nia DaCosta. She's never done a superhero movie. All right. And this was the problem with Fleck and Bowden doing the first Captain Marvel.
Ang Lee's Hulk. Ang Lee had never done anything in the superhero genre before.
Yeah. See, I like the Norton Hulk, man. I was like, I hate Mark Ruffalo though. I hate Mark Ruffalo. I don't.
What did they do to him at the end of
I'm
it?
Oh,
Dude.
I miss Bill Bixby.
Dude.
soy cuck Hulk.
That was
fucking
also
Ruffalo.
something that they did. That's another trailers lie, like the Infinity War trailer with Hulk running in Wakanda.
Yes.
So everyone's like, Hulk's gonna be fighting, and then actually he only fights Thanos at the beginning, and then he never fights Thanos again.
Yep.
Hulk got wasted.
He got his ass beat.
Yeah,
Dude,
and like
you got three of the most powerful characters in the MCU in the first seconds of the movie. You get Thor getting his ass handed to him.
but they showed you in the trailer that he was going to show up in the final fight. So
Yeah.
that's just a lie. And they say that so that's like we're not giving anything away and it's a secret, stuff like that. But what it is it puts an image in your head that you're excited to see, and then you don't see it. Rogue One did the same thing, but with that movie, they had massive reshoots. They changed the entire ending, and the guy making the trailer was probably like, "This movie doesn't come out for a year and a half, and you're reshooting it right now." And they're like, "Just get a trailer out there. Just get a trailer out there."
Yeah,
they must have started with the same logic with The Last Jedi, because when I saw the trailer, I typed this shit.
Yeah.
That's what that's the job. The job of the trailer is to use music that may not be in the movie and
Get
scenes
ads,
that may not
yep.
get you hyped, to get you excited to see the film.
To get
like that scene, they showed that one. I remember in the Last Jedi trailer, one of the things I was really excited about was like they showed one clip of that initial space battle where everything was crashing. I was like, I assumed that was one small part of a very large space battle, and it's like, no, that was the whole thing when it crashes. That's it. That's all that happens in that space battle is those things crash into each other. Then the thing blows. I was like, no dogfighting, no anything. And what is it with those bombers? Like they didn't even let's protect. I mean, the messes and the lies of trailers can continue. That's why I can see a trailer and be like, this movie has the potential to be amazing, but also that was just 2 minutes of stuff specifically put together to make me think that.
Listen, my bombers were perfect. You man babies just didn't appreciate how beautiful the cinematography was, and you hate Asians. That's what it is. You just hate Asians. Incels.
Go away, Ryan. God damn it, Ryan. Go away.
There's still
Ryan,
people to this day defending Ryan Johnson.
Sure. They call him King. It's weird.
They still defend
really
him.
weird. It's really weird.
And that's the problem with these directors just opening their mouths. And like I said, it's going to happen with Captain Marvel. Seth, I want to hear from you on this, man, because you're into the MCU too. You've never seen. Did you not watch Captain Marvel? You said.
Oh, I was there opening night.
You did. Okay,
I watched didn't pay for tickets.
Nice.
I streamed it free opening night. I found it. Somebody had bootlegged it already and had it on the internet, so I streamed it as soon as I could find it. I watched it. It took a little bit longer because of some lag. But what was your opinion?
I don't know how you guys could sit through it.
Taking into consideration, I spent a lot of time watching other people because I couldn't watch the movie, and I wanted to see what other. When we went to the first Avengers movie, it was always an experience. You went with a group of friends, and you wanted to experience the fun, but it was more fun when everybody laughed at the joke or everybody, it
was a collective thing, yeah.
Right. Well, I went to Captain Marvel, and there was like 11 people counting me and my wife. And 3 people were asleep, and people were just not paying attention. And when we walked out, people were like, that was stupid.
Were they watching the movie
but it made $1 billion, so it's good.
Yeah. Right. A lot of that is suspicious because there was so much stuff going around about like, when you see a movie and you look to buy online tickets before the movie is coming out, and it's like the first day so that they can say, look, it's got the most pre-sales ever. That stuff's been going on since before Black Panther. They've been touting like the pre-sale ticket numbers, and it's like they just do that every time. You look at which seats have been sold, and it's the 2 back rows or the sides, and it's like, yeah, those are prime seats that you want to pick up first. Oh, maybe someone like with billions of dollars bought up tons of theater tickets and in non-desirable locations so that other people can still go buy a ticket. They're like, oh, look, the middle's still open. And that's the 11 people that actually showed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guess what? The tickets they sold included the sides and the 3 back rows. Oh, I wonder. I guess all those people decided not to show up.
Chess against yourself. Like make the movie and buy the tickets.
It's to make the shareholders think that they're making money, and then they don't the stock price doesn't go down.
Let them take. Let them play with money around like this. Because those stockholders may have an agenda, but above all agendas, you may be liberal, you may be conservative. These stockholders only speak one language. Only money.
Money.
It's almost as bad as people that create a YouTube channel and then create other accounts and subscribe to themselves. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's like? It's
Deshaun.
like putting your foot over your head and just starting to suck your own dick.
I mean, I may have done that. So whatever.
Hey, everybody does a couple, but nobody does. Nobody.
Hey, we're all guilty of it. We all have the pains on our sides for trying. We're like,
everybody's at least
for months is the low point.
I mean, I just have my the Appalachian American that I use, and
Hey, look, I've got a couple.
Shame.
but no, but I don't sit back and create like 100 of them just to up my subscription numbers. this other cat that likes to pop into my chat does, but that's all right. He knows who he is. His videos are horrible. It's all right. Hi, Deshaun. You're fucking terrible, bud.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are like, "Oh, your titles are terrible and your content is terrible." Yeah, but if it agreed with you, I agree. My movies are shitty, but they're not terrible because of the quality. They're terrible because of the overall agenda behind it. And I do not align with these people. I will not. Never did.
Yeah.
I could have been. We could all have been bigger channels if we just started, shilling Disney.
Yep. I didn't want to do that.
People went against the grain, and they made big names. Like, look at Anna, that Star Wars girl. She just passed 150,000 subscribers, and I remember her first video. I had just gotten off The Last Jedi, and it just had about 2,500 views. That's all. Okay, and that's all they had.
Yeah.
That's all she had. And then the next day, I just see everyone like picking traction about this whole Last Jedi backlash. And today she's at 150,000 K. And people will be like, "Oh yeah, she did it because she was complaining." When you were complaining about the prequels, everyone was entertained by it. Remember when everyone was taking a giant shit over the prequels? So it's our turn. So yeah, I'm gonna take a giant shit over Captain Marvel, and I'm gonna take a page from the SJW book, which means I'm never gonna watch the film, just discuss a few things that you guys know, some trivial things, and take a shit on it.
It's startling the way that they try to defend these things, where it's like any negative thoughts, anyone who has an opinion that's not in love with their product, is a bad person. That's literally how they defend their films now.
Yep.
I hadn't seen it so blatant.
Orwellian marketing principles.
The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
But now you see it in other places too. They're just like, well, obviously anyone who doesn't like this, they're actually been pre-saying that. Remember Terminator Dark Fate? When he was like,
Tim Miller.
This is gonna scare the shit out of them. When he said that, didn't you just know like if you had any doubt, but now it's like, well, this is just gonna suck. He's saying it before the movie's even dropped. He's defending the movie against attacks before it's even released.
She'll scare the fuck out
of
him.
He knows
why are you so defensive? Is it that good that you need to defend it?
Ahead of time. There haven't been like complaints yet, but he's already just like letting us know.
Because
when
Nolan's trilogy came out, I never saw anyone needing to defend this shit ever. Okay, when I saw
do that with good
Iron Man
movies.
coming out, no one ever needed to defend.
If The Last Jedi had been a good film, you wouldn't have had the backlash.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. The prequels. This is why it's different. Is because social media, the way it exists now, did not exist back then. So back then, any widespread or big type of backlash was done by the media. Now people can do stuff like on social media, but the media is also doing it too, and they're acting like it's just
they're using our input for it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing the work for them.
Yeah, well,
a long time ago, this would have been a panel of journalists right now. We would have all had a job in the journalist arena, and right now we're just a couple of average Joes with a beer next to us. We might even be snacking in our living rooms, nice and comfortable with a nice, comfortable shirt. We're doing their job for them.
Yeah, I actually pursued journalism. I was dumb enough. I'm old and dumb enough to have pursued journalism as a career. It's the single most dumb thing I ever did in my entire life. Look where it is now. Don't you guys feel like Twitter controls the entertainment landscape a
Unfortunately.
little too much?
Twitter controls
too much stuff.
It controls. It has a narrative.
I think it's weird that senators keep announcing stuff on Twitter. I'm like, is that really where we're at? Like,
Right.
that's where they're like. I see sometimes. I'm like, the news comes on, and I happen to watch some of the news, and it's like, presidential candidate announced today on Twitter. And it's like, that's where he announced it. The first place was
on
like
Twitter. Yeah, like really, this is where we're at. But
that's your first stop.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like
Reaching out to the masses.
Can you imagine if the founding fathers of the United States of America had Twitter?
Did you know they
hashtag
were
we the
enslaved?
people? Yeah.
But you know that they're all in the same basket together. It's all.
Yep. Oh yeah. But that's another story altogether. So I think we've spent enough time inside Brie Larson. I'm all sticky. Oh God, I don't know what the hell.
Is that like a personal attack or something? Or?
Let's get out of here.
Hi. Hello. I'm starting a YouTube channel.
Brie Larson is nothing special. I have seen her type everywhere. One walk in town, and there she is. Boom. You get Brie Larsons everywhere.
She's like a basic live, laugh, love. That's what she is. She's like a basic UGG boots, live, laugh, love
She's
sign
got
in
that everywhere in her house. Like it's on every wall.
Yep.
She's in wall to wall Gwyneth Paltrow candles. Am I right?
Yeah.
What kills me is Vase and Katarn don't know is I used to have a female co-host. She was my permanent co-host, right? She was into working out. She was like ultra fit, and like Katarn, I know you said you're a bodybuilder, so she did Brie Larson's workout. She did her workout. Sans pulling the Jeep. She's like, well, bitch, that was in neutral, and it was that's easy. I'm sorry. That's not that difficult if a car's in neutral.
This
and you're
is
pushing
today's Disney and Marvel. They celebrate mediocrity.
Yep, that's it. She was like, yeah, her workout. I did that for a warm up before I lifted. I'm like,
I was about to ask if she lost her ass when she did it.
No,
as a consequence.
MJ did not. She did not. That's fully intact. Confirmed. Anyway, but moving on to a next topic before I get off on the topic of ass. I don't know.
Get what you fucking deserve.
Anyway, so let's break into our next topic here, which is the Netlfilx debacle. And I shan't be doing any screen shares for this because I am just anybody that saw my video the other day watched the first.
Don't mind me, I'm just doing
it.
some stretches because I'm going to take a giant dump on this.
Yeah, I come at this from the perspective, like said, I'm a parent, and I was absolutely, but I have a son still. I feel a lot of my friends have daughters, and I just, as a parent, this disgusted me. And I just had to go through a bunch of, because I'm volunteering at my child's school, I had to go through a background check, investigation, and I had to go through specialized training on how to look for, like if you spot something wrong, like you think a child is being abused, something like this. I had to go through all this training for this stuff.
Wow.
Just to volunteer at my son's school. So it's this whole Netlfilx thing with this movie. Really, and I love how it's from France. I'm like, so what the fuck does that mean? So
no, they think France is progressive. Progressive. No, this is from a progressive shithole in France that does not represent the entire country state. I can guarantee you that now. I had an uncle in France. Not like that.
Before we dive fully into this,
yeah,
I just want to say, like, I get where the outrage is coming from. I also understand. I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen a trailer. I don't really care. But I've read the description of the movie from the Sundance Awards, which it won like best directorial debut. It won major awards and accolades. And so I'm like, why would they market it like this? And that's the thing, is that the movie itself is trying to shine a light on this and not in support of it. It's like, it's about this, I think, French Muslim girl who's like, she's got like pushing back against her like very strict, upbringing. And, this is part of the society we live in. And I think the movie itself just tries to shine a light on these like conflicting worldviews and this thing that really does exist in our society.
You can absolutely do that. That's not a problem.
But the problem is, and I agree with it, it's trying to shine a light on that. And negatively, this is, the sexualization of children. It's about like saying, look, this is not a good thing. Netlfilx put up that picture, and they put up the most sexualized thing they could find of it. And from what I saw of like actual marketing materials for Sundance, it was nothing like that. It was like them walking down a street in regular clothes.
They had like shopping bags and stuff. Yeah, so I saw that. They
specifically used the most sexualized image they could find to try and promote the film.
That is on Netflix.
I think, that's on Netflix.
They did that.
I might not have seen this movie. Now I might have to, just to actually see it and see like what were they trying to do with this movie. But like, what did it won awards at Sundance? But other crappy films have done that.
Yep.
Like, so, but the outrage, I think, is justified, and you shouldn't be marketing a movie like that that way. That shouldn't be like the big, because kids can use it. I doubt it showed up on like Netflix Kids or whatever. But I mean, kids get on there.
Yep.
No, the problem with this is one thing. 11-year-olds, you can have a movie about a strict upbringing. Can't she not be 19? Make her 19.
Well, here's the thing. If it actually exists in our society, and this director might just be trying to shine a light on the fact that these competitions exist.
Yeah.
Well,
and
so
that's
maybe that's something people should know about.
If
It's
you want
not
to
just
find
Netflix
something
either.
sick in the world, you'll always find something sick to be disgusted about. Just don't put it on my screen. I'm actively looking for something other than that. I'm watching TV and movies. I'm watching something fictional to get away from my reality. I do
Well,
again.
that's not the only type of content that Netflix hosts, and that's not the only type of digital media that exists. Like escapism, fantasy is fun, and I love it myself, like Star Wars and everything. But not everything. Like there are documentaries, there are other different things. This is like an artistic art flick.
It is, and
there's. And like I said, the thing that they were probably
there's
trying
absolutely
to do,
no art in using an 11-year-old twerking.
That's not what the movie is trying to do. I don't think. That's Netflix marketing it badly. But the twerking competitions for young kids exist.
Yes, and that's disgusting, and that's like Dance Moms.
So and now more people know about it. At least I think that's what the movie itself.
You're right about that. You've brought it more to light so parents can be more aware. Like you could have your daughter and Mom, can I go to a twerking contest? And parents wouldn't know what twerking is, and now they'll be like, "Fuck no,
fuck no."
Do any of you guys follow Az from Heel versus Babyface on Twitter?
Yeah,
I don't.
He dropped on there and said that it was released that Netflix interviewed 650 girls.
Yes, I did see that
audition.
Gary, I think Gary from Nerdrotic was talking about that.
Guys, someone was touched. I know
that's disgusting. Yeah, it's like so they took months and months to do these auditions, and they auditioned 640 some girls. That's
but
fucking
Brie Larson
disgusting.
to play Captain Marvel, they found her in an instant like this, heartbeat.
Well, she knew the Russo brothers because they produced and executive directed and stuff for Community. She was on some seasons of Community, so they knew her through that, and she had, so she already knew them.
She had their connections.
But she ain't Robert Downey Jr. guys.
And in 2016, Amazon Prime released I, Pedophile, understanding and addressing the mental disorder of pedophilia.
Do you know what I saw? Do you know what I just saw? I swear to God, a Halloween costume for a sexy nun for children.
Jesus there's nothing sexy.
I did see it. I ripped out my eyes. I cloned a new parent to my brain.
Oof. Delete.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, seriously, what the fuck is like? Who is Kevin Spacey selling these from prison? I mean, what the fuck, man? Like, seriously, like it's like
this is starting to get into.
They're trying to normalize this shit.
Yeah,
and it is fucking. It's evil and it's disgusting. And it's like Hollywood. Okay, so like after the Weinstein shit, now with the Epstein stuff, it's like. You still, it's like this open secret that it's like, oh yeah, it's just accepted, but nobody really talks about it, but everybody knows about it.
Hollywood has very random, when they will publicly shame the hell out of someone.
Yes.
But they pick and choose who they do so the rest of them can keep doing their shit.
I'm a rapist when I go for grown women. I'm a rapist. I'm a potential rapist. But when you want to touch and molest a child, that's pride. That's a preference.
Oh yeah, these fucking people groom these children. That's this big thing now is like the way they groom these kids for this, and it's wrong. I don't understand.
And you've had people talking about it in Hollywood for a long time. They're usually ostracized, kicked out, or labeled. Oh, they're just a junkie, crazy, blah 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 person. It's like, well, even if they currently are that, it's because you are ostracizing them for shit that you did to them, and now they're starting to be taken seriously. But it's like, hey, it's 40 years, like it's been done going on.
Was it Corey
and then you
Feldman?
still have stuff like this come out. Yeah, Corey Feldman is one of them, and he has, I think, like Tobey Maguire. Not that he necessarily had it directly happen to him, but I know he supports very strongly. Like, and there's other like actors out there and actresses that are like, we've been talking about that. They stop getting hired. It's like they get blacklisted because they started talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of back to what you're saying earlier, Vase, about, you go on to, I've had the same situation. I watch the streaming service just as much as everybody else. Okay. Amazon, Prime, Netflix, you go on to escape, escapism, which is something that I practice religiously on my channel. I don't like actors and actresses that use their platforms for their activism.
Sure.
I think there's a time and a place when you're taking something that's a perfectly harmless geek fantasy and using it for a platform to, push your activism. But what I don't understand is, social media does this. they base what they advertise to you based on your search history. Why don't they do that with Amazon or Netflix? No, they always base it on whatever the trending topic is. That's what they shove in your face.
Here's the top 10. Here's what everyone else is watching. It's peer pressure.
Everybody wants to watch this, but with cuties,
you're missing out.
With cuties, it's not even out yet. So they are literally throwing that onto the world and expecting them to react. And what I'm curious is this like some kind of backhanded type of marketing to get people to watch it? Because there's going to be at least half a billion curious weirdos out there that are going to watch this to see if it is exactly what they think it is.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. That's why I like the real, like I like the movie itself. People can feel one way or the other about, but I don't think that that's the core problem. Like with all, it's definitely the way that Netflix decided to market it, and like you were just saying, I think intentionally, like who on their marketing team, like this got past how many people that they were like, well, here's what they marketed it as. Here's the original marketing material for this movie from Sundance when it won awards. Shall we use it? Nah. Let's get the kids in bikinis twerking.
Yep,
that's where the money's at. That's
they
money
wanted to
shot.
put that under because that would turn the most heads.
Controversy. Hey, people are looking at Netflix again instead of Disney Plus.
Controversy.
Hey, any press is good press. Yep. All press.
I think Red Pill Society 1776 said it.
Here we go.
He's pretty over the mark.
The entertainment industry wants to normalize kitty diddling because when the mass arrests happen and you see who's involved, they want us to feel sorry for them. And that's
it was a preference. That is so true. It was a choice.
I don't think they're going to find that much compassion in the nerd community or anything like that. Most of the thing I see is people saying like kill the pedophiles, and then you have people like Batman who was branding pedophiles so they get killed in prison. And I was like, Batman doesn't kill; he just sends them to get prison. Like, to get killed because he's a fucking pedophile.
Having
sex slavery,
having a background in criminal justice, man. Those motherfuckers when they go to the big house, it's like they don't last.
I just saw a story the other day. A guy died face down dickless.
They don't fucking last, dude. Because most of the guys there got kids, they got families.
Guys, one of my friends works in these prisons, and he told me that the nasty shit that they do and say to pedophiles are like, this is what this little child that felt like, huh? You don't like it in your big grown ass, huh?
Yep.
You think that kid liked it? You took away his innocence, you son of a bitch. And there was this picture of a guy that got stabbed 37 times. He got raped so bad his shorts were red from the back end. And you could see the guy, he just had like stab wounds all over the place. I have no idea how they still managed to take a picture with this man walking, but I justify it. I mean, did you think that prison has a higher morality code than actual society?
It's kind of sad.
Cheers to prison justice.
I'll drink to that. Absolutely. And I have a cousin doing life without possibility of parole, and fuck him. He deserves every day he's in there. And if anything happens to him, fuck him, do it twice. That's the way I feel. He did that shit, and what he's in for, he deserves every bad thing that goddamn happens to him. So I have no sympathy for him.
I mean, do you know how bad it is when you have a niece? I have a niece who's 4 years old, and under other circumstances, like this isn't as prominent in Greece as it is in like the States.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have map prides here because they wouldn't last very long. We'd hang them outside of the Parliament building.
Yeah.
Like the Joker did in Batman,
Yep.
But I want to play with my niece, and I always find myself at the back of my hand, be careful to not touch her inappropriately. Don't make it weird. And my cousin can actually see me. She's like, hold her normally. Don't.
You're like tentative because it's a girl.
Because I'm like, and I'm like, I'm not a pedo. I'm not a pedo. I'm not. Hey, I'm not a pedo. 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 Hey, how are you doing? And then you put it down like.
Dude, I have a 3-year-old niece, right? And I have a son. So for me, it's like, it's dealing with a boy. It's easy, it's my son. But I watch her for my sister sometimes when she goes to work. I hate changing her diapers. I do. I hate it. I'm like, I feel weird. I wear rubber gloves. I'm like, I feel weird, man. It's like, this is an odd fucking topic, but it is. It's just like, this is the way society is, though. It's like, you're not doing anything wrong, but you feel like you have to be careful because it's like the way society is. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing I'm changing a diaper on a child. This is normal, but it's like, everything around you, the atmosphere makes it weird because you're like, wait, what? You know, it is. It's I do. Speaking of which, Netlflix, the trailer for Cuties right now is fam, we've done it. It's at 28,000 likes, 1 million dislikes.
So,
1 million.
It's good thing to know that there are 20,000 pedos out there. Now,
28,000 sick fucks.
Their names and addresses and phones.
The
and where
FBI's
they live.
like,
Let's see. That FBI's like, oh, we got 28,000 cases
I'm
here.
telling
All
you,
right.
if those likes were not anonymous, and like you could like actually see who liked what, just like on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, you would have. They wouldn't have done it. I'm telling you.
That's a rabbit hole. That is a rabbit hole, guaranteed.
This is one thing that can bring the Captain Marvel and non-Captain Marvel fans together. They can all unite in their dislike of the Cuties trailer.
Yep. That's it. This is basically my feeling after I watch the Cuties trailer.
You out of your goddamn mind. Son of a
yes.
That was
much.
basically me watching the fucking trailer. I'm like, are you serious?
I think I mentioned this before, but I do have a member of my family that was molested by somebody. And all I can say is within a month of that guy going to prison, he lost an eye.
Yep. They don't last long because, like I said, murderers, thieves, people who embezzle, robbers,
drug dealers,
pedophiles are at the bottom of that rung, man. Hey, fuck that.
They don't fuck around with drug dealers as much as they would actually punish pedophiles. Like,
no,
I have no idea.
No,
and the younger the kid, the worse they should do to you.
Yep.
I swear, like if that kid, like they should have like an age barrier. They'd be like from 0 to 1. you ain't seeing the sunrise.
Nope.
As a kid gets older, yeah, they can actually be more lenient with their punishment. So they'd be like, yeah, so that pedophiles can actually think about it. They'd be like, maybe I should go for a woman. Maybe.
They're just, there's no, to me, I look at that, and I took a lot of psych, and it's like, that there ain't no coming back from that.
I had to do a double take because it's like, is it what I think it is, or is it just everybody being hyperbolic? And then I look at it,
I'm
like,
I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I'm a little too overboard. I don't date younger women like ever. I had to come out to my mom as if I was gay. Mom, I'm sexually attracted to older women. Younger women, not at all. It's like I don't feel anything about them. You can actually see like where my whole orientation on this is. Like if I disagree with dating a girl that's a few years younger than me, imagine how I feel when I see a Cuties trailer and 11-year-olds just twerking. They shouldn't. They should be at school.
You should be playing with dolls. Like I said, I had 2 younger sisters, man. One is 6 years younger than me, the other one's 4 years younger than me. They were 11 years old. They were playing with fucking dolls and, doing that shit,
Make my toys play with them too.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck, man?
You can't be a kid anymore. They just want to throw kids into an adult situation. No.
Yep.
They're trying to take the one last thing, the one last good thing on this good green earth is a child's innocence. They've taken everything from us. They've taken a man's dignity. They've taken a woman's femininity. They have destroyed the family. Okay, men are obsolete. You don't need no man. You don't need a man. Okay, this is the thing. Men are toxic. Women can be toxic too. And the last thing on God's good green earth was a child's innocence.
Yep.
Just please point me to the people in charge, and I'd like to have a talk with them with my baseball bat.
I'll join you. I got Lucille out in the garage, man. And she's a dirty girl, and she's always.
Ooh, I get personal with my hands. I want them to feel like every last muscle fiber snapping and twitching off.
I like you even more now,
I
homie.
want to shear it off with my actual hand. I want them to realize that this is personal, like that person, and he's probably wearing a suit and stroking his cat in his hollowed out volcano. He's like, yeah, this is the next part of my master plan. I like kids, so I better make everyone like kids too. No, point me to that individual, and I'd personally make an example of him. I could go to prison. I'd do unspeakable things. I'd leak 18 plus, footage. Not safe for work footage, but the other kind. Like I would actually make a mosaic of a splattered brain right over my floor. It would be like I would put some classic music and his brain matter all over.
He's an artist.
Okay. When you were talking about him sitting in a volcano as far as master plan, my brain was just like, that's why he rode around in the big boy.
Yeah.
Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
Oh shit! But
Big boys.
all right.
You're passionate, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, I am, and especially about things that involve stuff like that. I've got nieces, dude, and I want to be a dad soon. I want to be a dad soon. So whoever touches my kid, ooh, could you imagine someone just being the dad, the receiving end, and you find out the guy who did that? I'd go to prison for my kid.
Yep.
I'm not a dad yet, but I would so go to prison just to get back at that one bastard that touched my child, that traumatized my child, that scarred my child for life. I'd be like, kid, you better visit me because this son of a bitch, I'm sending him straight to hell.
Yep, that's it. And I can completely concur. Like I said, as a parent, man, because I had my wife and son the night my son was born. Both of them died. Both of them died. My son was born non-responsive, and my wife died holding my hand, and she was resuscitated after, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. But yeah, she flatlined after my son. You got it, Appalachian, there.
We're ready.
Yep,
we're ready.
Oh yeah.
Maglock
is
double
that the
stack.
cure to
We're ready.
pedophilia?
Yeah,
Huh?
that's a cure for pedophilia right there.
Yeah,
That's a cure.
right here.
Let's double
That's a
up.
cure.
But
This is
yeah,
why I
man.
love America. You can actually, like, the only weapon I'm allowed to carry in Greece is this, and it's not even real.
Oh shit. Oh man, I got a dirty Harry.
we guys don't have here in Greece. We don't have laws for self-defense. Pedophilia
Really?
is still considered a mental disorder, not a crime. That's why prisons have instituted their own justice system. They're like, yeah, get his ass in here. We'll
See,
take care of him.
Y'all got Tom Hanks over there now.
Yeah.
He ran. That motherfucker ran. That flight log from Epstein Island came out. Tom Hanks is like, "See ya," and then
I
everybody's like,
you remember his face?
"Yeah, oh yeah, that."
I live in Athens now.
Wait, I'm opening my glasses when he was like,
he got all scared when Ricky Gervais started talking about Epstein up on that stage. Boy, everybody in that crowd was kind of like,
he was like, play it cool, Hanks. You're the best actor in this room.
yeah, yep. You were in Big and Joe versus the Volcano.
Hank's sitting there like, don't look guilty. Don't look guilty.
Recently, America's lost some of its credibility, so it's trying to borrow some of mine. Tousle my hair, Mr. Hanks. The Simpsons movie predicted the future.
The Simpsons fucking predicted like everything that's happened so far, so they're spot on. But but
the Simpsons writer was involved with it.
I know.
That's how you know.
Raining.
That's how they knew.
Yeah, nobody's ever gonna believe that I was in on it. If I write about this kind of stuff,
God, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, and now I really have to like. I hate myself watching that movie, The Burbs, because I love that movie. I love it, and it's like, damn you, Tom Hanks, damn you.
Yeah, well, he became an honorary Greek because Rita Wilson has, I think one of her folks was Greek and stuff. And I told my government, I'm like, so he's an honorary Greek student. Let him pay taxes like I do. Right? Because if I come to the States, I'd have to wait 3 years to become an American, and then Tom Hanks. But it's what Ashley St. Clair said once, that it doesn't matter who you are. What matters is your bank account, level.
That's
money. Yeah, you can get away with it. Yeah, you can get away with murder.
Shit.
Money is power. Power corrupts.
Yep. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So speaking of power, let's talk about DC for a little bit, shall we? Yeah. Because I've been waiting to get onto this topic.
Sweet.
This is a fun one. We're going to talk about the Snyder Cut trailer first.
Sweet.
I like I said, I'm hesitant to show trailers now on here because every time I do, I get fucking dinged.
I don't think you need to. I mean,
especially Warner Brothers, they will attack anything.
Oh God,
Yeah, some studios are worse than others, but
Warner Brothers went back and claimed every one of my Batwoman reviews. Every fucking Batwoman review I did 20 fucking Batwoman reviews, and they claimed
because they're like, we can't let the people know it's terrible.
Yeah,
people know.
And I developed an offhanded crush on Ruby Rose. I was like Stockholm syndrome. I'm like, I have a thing for short-haired Australian lesbians now.
You can blame a lot of these laws that got passed. A lot of these laws that got passed while you weren't looking, have made it to where YouTubers, especially people like me, that have a movie channel, can't do trailer reactions. The only thing we can do is say, "Hey, watch the trailer, and then I'll talk about it." That's literally all you can do.
Channel like for the subs and stuff.
Yep, fucking Ruby Rose left Batwoman. I was like, where's Ruby Rose going? Then I saw Javicia Leslie. I was like, wait, what? that is the new Batwoman, I am fucking sold. I was like, I want to see that ass in the bat suit. Shit, are you kidding me?
I remember mocking that trailer so fucking hard.
That was my first video to ever go over 100 views. Was my Batwoman trailer reaction. I think either that or one of my Captain Marvel videos I did back in the day. But let's talk about the Snyder Cut trailer here. And I've already heard some complaints about the way Darkseid looks.
When is it being released? That's like CGI stuff. So they still have a lot of time to finalize. But
here it is, right here. This is from and this is a great new website that Mikey Sutton, who's a renowned scooper for Marvel, DC, Star Wars, just started. Geekiositymag.com, and the Snyder Cut trailer came out. The film is 4 hours long, so I believe they're going to.
Darkseid right there.
That is Darkseid right there.
He looks like Abe Vigoda if he was swole.
I
think he should have like the beet red eyes, you know, or like
it
might just because like when I think of Darkseid, I think of like the red eyes that then like glow red and shoot the beam that is Omega beam. Yeah,
he kind of looks a little bit like Thanos.
Now is that? Oh well, he always has. They're like basically the same. Now is that clip there? What I'm wondering is that from when he attacks back in time, like when he's fighting Zeus and the gods and that stuff? And then are we going to see like a different version of him now that is like the red-eyed, more armor? Like maybe this is just
his original kind of
yeah. And because later in the trailer they say, I don't care how many worlds he's been on or how many hell, I don't care how many demons he brought or how many hells he's like conquered or whatever. He's never faced us, not united.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking that Darkseid, this is my theory, that's old Darkseid, and we're going to see new Darkseid come back. He's going to be even crazier looking than that.
I think you're onto something there, because that sounds plausible with the given time frame of the movie. You know, the real time in the movie that they cover, different periods and whatnot.
Why does Zack Snyder always insist on having these movies with the same three colors?
Sepia. It's like I was honestly thinking the same thing when I look at that shot right there. That's the thing that really bothers me about the movie. Like I like the sound, I like the trailer music they used. I like a lot of the shots I saw, but like every time you get a group shot or something, like we should be seeing like the Flash is bright red. We should be seeing Aquaman as gold. They all look the same.
Dark and clouds and crap, and it looks like it reminds me of like a cutscene from a video game every time.
Honestly, and I'm gonna say I liked Batman vs Superman. I like Man of Steel. I do like the darker tone. Justice League. Now I obviously knew what happened to it and why it was basically like Frankenstein's monster of a movie, because, well, first of all, fuck Jeff Johns and Berg, fuck those two. But that's my problem, because I like Shazam and I liked Aquaman, and they greenlit those. But Joss Whedon had no business being involved in that in the first place.
Can I just say it like it is, Pete? DC can't do team up movies. They
rushed it.
They rushed it, absolutely.
They rushed it.
Trying to catch up with Avengers.
Yep.
They haven't done a decent team up movie yet. They fucked up Birds of Prey. They fucked up Suicide Squad.
Because they rushed those two things too.
Yep.
They keep trying to match Marvel when they haven't done the groundwork to deserve it. And it's like that's why the team up movies worked, because we were introduced to these characters in their own movies. And that's why Suicide Squad didn't work for sure, is that they spent the first half of the movie introducing to the characters, because it's like, well, we don't know who these people. If you're just a casual moviegoer, like, we don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
And so they had to do the same problem with Justice League, kind of.
Suicide Squad, same thing.
That's the bad thing about DC right now. They are so much more.
Their animated universe
got a better fan base than Marvel. I can tell you that much. I'm a Marvel fanboy all my life, but now with this direction, I'm thinking of jumping ship, and it feels good to be excited again when I see people get excited for the Snyder Cut and fandom and all this stuff, and you see like Gal Gadot featuring all of these other chicks doing Captain Marvel,
the Wonder Woman,
talking about me. Wonder Woman cosplays, and you see Black Adam and all that stuff, and you're like, cool, that is amazing. Okay, they're engaging with fans. They're not taking shit over it. You didn't see Gal Gadot going, "Oh, this movie's not made for white man," or Rock going,
that would be
"Why you don't have a big badass tattoo and you weren't wrestling and you didn't pump up steroids? You can't watch my movie." You didn't see them coming out like that. But that's the thing. They tried to be Marvel so bad that it failed. when DC was DC, like when they came up with the Nolan trilogy, DC was its own thing.
Yep.
And I believe that if they worked around Nolan's Batman and they created a universe around that, I still think that he
I don't know if you could do that because
I don't know if they could build that universe around there.
That's more of a realistic that's
very grounded.
In our world, Batman exists.
If you
like
watch
Superman doesn't exist.
2008, it was the most grounded, realistic part of Earth. The only thing extravagant about that universe and that movie was Iron Man's suit. Everything else was grounded.
It was.
And this is how it started. And then you got Iron Man 2, and then you got Thor, and then you got Captain America, okay? And then you started seeing the Hydra weapons that were starting to be more lasery. And, you know, they were like at the back of your head, you were starting to get indoctrinated this very
lasers.
Freaking laser. Yeah.
Freaking laser beams on their freaking. Is that too much to ask?
They're lasers.
One of my favorite things to do to people is to go to them and go to them like this. How about no?
How about no?
How about no, Scotty?
That's the gift I was going to make. Fuck, I've got that one.
Scotty, don't.
How about
some preparation H?
Yeah, that's a good impression.
Yeah, preparation H does feel good on the whole.
Would you like some? Would you like some ice cream, Scotty? I would love some ice cream. Okay, Scotty, we'll get you. Let's get some Scotty some ice cream.
How about you, dog?
That's the thing. I mean, if they tried to set it up and just escalate it the same way they did with the MCU, you get Thor, okay, and then you're like, okay, now we're dealing with gods, okay.
I agree that they definitely should have set it up in a similar fashion. You know,
Yeah.
I just don't necessarily know if Nolan's Batman show was the way, like, is the way to do it. I think that was a contained type.
Yeah, there
thing.
was no talk.
It was
But
very
they should have,
contained.
but they should have built it up like you were just like Marvel did.
Yep.
And have like escalating threats, introduce your different heroes, introduce what they're facing,
They
and
would've
then
had
what
time.
brings them together.
They would have
Justice
had
League, we
time.
didn't even know half the heroes. We don't know Cyborg, like Flash.
Yeah.
Doesn't have, you know, where they're just like, here are these guys.
It's
They're
just
enough.
DC's
Luthor had a file on them.
DC's non-team up movies always seem to do better than their team up movies.
Yep.
So
And it's because they haven't earned the team up movies yet. Maybe if they
Dude, the best team up was the Justice League in the 2000s. Dude, that was extravagant as shit. I fucking loved it. Like, you'd see Justice League, and one of my favorite thing about the Justice League is that you get all of these superpowered, badass people, and then you get Batman. And one of my favorite things about Batman is that he's just an
He's just a
average
guy.
What
an orphan.
What makes him so exceptional to be among this league of unique people is that he represents human resourcefulness, intelligence, drive, and will. Okay.
Yep.
And there are other characters too that do
humanity
it, like,
on an entire scale. That's what I love
Green
about
Arrow.
Batman. That's what I love about it.
Green Arrow's like that, and also Mr. Fantastic, because they're just like people who just committed themselves. And Mr. Fantastic is like genius level to machines and stuff, but they're not like, and he's an Olympic athlete, but like they're just like the best of humanity, the best that humankind has to offer.
Yep.
And it's awesome. And also on the note of like how DC hasn't managed to keep up to the Marvelverse with the DCEU, on the animated story front, DC has been regularly releasing movies that are in sync, in story, together. One leads into the other. They come to a point later when the different stories meet up in the Justice League and so on and stuff that has been kicking ass. I've like watched all of them when you have things like Flashpoint, which my theory is that's what they're doing soon.
They are.
With that's what they're doing for the Flash movie, because they said Michael Keaton's going to be there. Well, he's
And
probably going to
Affleck.
play Thomas Wayne.
Yep.
To his Batfleck.
Mhm.
You know, so when he goes to the Flashpoint universe and, you know, the universe where Bruce Wayne is killed in the alley and his parents survive, which is awesome. His mom becomes a Joker and his dad becomes a
That was
drunken
my favorite part of the
gun-wielding
Flashpoint
Bruce Wayne.
animated movie, dude.
So
I
badass.
love that movie. That is
Thomas
like one of my
Wayne
favorite.
is dope. Yeah.
He's bad as fuck, dude.
He's awesome. The way he
that's-
talks to everyone, he tries it like you should have let her drop.
Yep.
And
Oh,
he uses the
God.
guns. That's why the
Yes.
first thing Flash says, like when he's like, "What the fuck are you doing with the guns?" He's
Yeah.
like, "What?"
He's just got was it Glocks? He's just popping off rounds. I'm like, this is I love it's like Affleck in the warehouse scene when he
which was
just
so brutal and also Batman.
I've been waiting so
Because
long to see Batman. I'm like, dude, you have the weaponry to just like massacre people. Just fucking do it.
The stuff
Just
he did with
do
the
it.
box going over, and when they shoot him in the head, and he just like, "Arr!" and he turns around like
Yep.
stick him in, and then he just uses that, and he's just like, "Arr!"
Yes, that's why I like Ben
That was
Affleck
dope.
for
Yeah.
Batman. He got so fucking jacked.
Dude,
I
that's
was like,
where he's working out
holy
to fight
shit.
Superman. It's like,
Yeah. dude, Cavill is another one. That dude, my hat is off to him. That man is a fucking physical beast. Like,
he's a great Superman.
And that's all. Yes,
yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
So good. I actually gave him a pass for that scene where he was fake cooking those eggs.
Yeah. I fucking.
I'm like, you look good. I'll just play along.
You know what? I'm looking at your chest. Let's
Did there? That's cute.
I mean, as a guy, I always check out guys that work out as well because
dude.
What I could be missing out because you're always
he is a Superman.
Seriously, dude, I understand, like, because we were talking about this last night when I was wrestling. I was like, when I was in peak, like 3 years ago at the end of my career, I got in the best shape I was ever in because I wasn't planning on quitting that soon. So, I got yoked out, put on fucking 40 pounds, and was like just boom, just big. And I would go to these gyms where there would be like college football players working out, and these motherfuckers are coming. Me and my buddy, another pro wrestler, are working out, and these guys are coming over. They play for this, decent sized D2 school, and they're coming over to us. Hey, bullshitting about how big we are, and it's like, motherfucker, you're like 6'8". He's like, oh, dude, but you're moving more. I'm like, well, just doing what I do, man. He's like, how old are you? I'm like 37. He's like, holy fuck. I'm like, shut up, you fucking little 22-year-old. God damn it, make me feel like an old man.
22-year-olds, young, dumb, and full of cum. Isn't
yep.
The mantra?
That's what you just gotta tell them, man. You got to be that Robert Duvall from Colors and be like, hey, they're like, hey, man, let's go. No. Look, son, you ever heard the story of the young bull and the old bull? Young bull's like, let's run down there and fuck one of those cows. The old bull's like, no, son, let's walk down and fuck them all. My dad told me that when I was young, and it finally resonated by the time I was, I don't know, probably like 16 or 17. I'm like, wait a second. But no, to get back on the topic, no, man, Cavill is probably like, I like Brandon Roth. I had nothing wrong with Brandon Roth. Or Roth, however you say his name. He's a good dude. He was all right as Superman. But for me, it was always Reeves because I grew up with the Donner Superman. And then after seeing Cavill,
it will never be a second Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. will always be Iron Man.
Well, they're going to have Iron Heart now in the MCU, so they're going to bring in Riri Williams.
Shuri can take over because she's smarter than.
Yep, they're going to make Shuri. They're going to make Shuri take over for Black Panther.
In Infinity War, where she just like, what she's like.
Yep.
When asking about the things, and they're like, you have to. They're attached sequentially, and she goes, why didn't you just attach them why didn't you just make it work sequentially or whatever? And Bruce just goes, which also terrible writing for Bruce. He just goes, we didn't think of it. I'm like, do we remember how Vision was made? He was started by Ultron. He was conceived by the Time Stone. Jarvis was being uploaded into him, and Thor smacked him with a hammer. What do you mean you didn't think of it? There was crazy chaos going on the whole time.
Yeah.
It's easy to Monday morning quarterback stuff like that. And she's so haughty. She's like, well, you did the best you could. Sorry we weren't in Wakanda. We didn't know you existed because you were hoarding your wealth and power, but we were saving the world from alien attacks and shit.
Yep. Bitch. And that's the problem with her is, and like I said, they're going to try to make her Black Panther, and they're going to push Chadwick Boseman out. He can be the king, but she's Black Panther. It's like, I like Chadwick Boseman. That's why I was so disappointed to hear that 21 Bridges was so bad. But no, I think DC could definitely head in the right direction with the Snyder cut being on HBO Max and bringing Zack Snyder back in and keeping that other bullshit out. Now, I would like to say keep Aquaman, Shazam, and Black Adam in the tone of the more colorful palette, upbeat kind of movies. Now, I don't know much about Black Adam. All I know is the Rock has been pushing for this movie for years, and he was the one that really wanted Shazam to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge Rock fan.
He looks great for the part. He's also box office gold.
Yes.
Put him in a movie, people go see it. Yep. He's a great guy, in my opinion.
It's been a hot minute since he's been in anything. Yeah, I guess the guy finally took a vacation because for a while there he was in every movie that came out, and then all of a sudden, boom! What happened to the Rock?
And you're absolutely right.
You know what happened to the Rock? He played in Hobbs and Shaw. That's what happened to the Rock.
I was just hoping they didn't do a Johnny Depp to him, and cancel his ass out of Hollywood.
No. If anything, Johnny Depp, when this whole Amber Heard thing is over, he's going to get more traction than ever. Trust me.
Yeah, he deserves it. Depp is one of the good. I think he's one of the good guys in Hollywood. We'll
bring him back. I'll support that.
He's a very eclectic personality, but I can respect that. And even when his two exes, his two exes came out and supported him and did not have a bad thing to say about him. I'm sorry, but my last exes that I spent 7 and 3 years with before my wife, even as long as we've been separated, they would still not say a good word about me. I will guarantee you.
Can I tell you something, Pete? Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing every time that when you're with a girl, you've got like the biggest dick in the business, and every time they love you less, your dick starts to shrink a little.
Yep. That motherfucker ain't shit. You were saying I was God. Now it's like you ain't shit.
It was tiny. And when girls tell me, like, when girls tell me, my ex had nothing on you, his dick was tiny. I'm not talking about like, okay, he was okay, he satisfied me, but he was nothing like you. I accept that. But when you take a giant shit on your ex, I'm like, okay, someone has done that to me too. So I'm like, stop, because you were with that guy for some time. You cried about him, so his dick couldn't have been that bad. So do not insult my intelligence. You liked it.
Yep. But you're just mad now because you ain't together and he's with somebody else. He's happy somewhere else, so now he ain't shit.
Every time they do that, and every time I hear that about another guy, because this isn't just about me, this could be anyone. And I stand up for the guy, no matter how much big of a douche he could have been. I'm like, hey, listen to me. He had a small dick. How long were you together? And she's like, oh, we've been dating for about 3 years. So you knew that this guy had a small, unsatisfying penis, and you decided to put up with it for 3 years? It's your fault. That is.
We're gonna call bullshit on that one, right?
They're like, oh no, he's making sense. Damn it.
You're a misogynist.
Yeah,
misogynist.
That's the thing. Haven't you heard Chris Rock stand up where he says, we men, when we get in an argument, we have a disadvantage because we have the need to make sense.
Yep.
How dare you mansplain to me? It's just explaining. You just don't understand it.
You're just mansplaining.
Yeah. Hashtag Katarn is a misogynist. Yeah, I've been exposed.
Yeah. Here comes the Katarn is over. Hashtag Katarn is over party. You and Gina Carano.
Katarn is over party. And then you look at it, you click on the link, and just like, here's my favorite Japanese pop star.
Have you seen that Leo DiCaprio meme when he's at Django and Chen was like, my response will be Katarn was never a thing.
Oh, wait, you talking, let's see.
Laughing DiCaprio.
Oh, yep.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah. Katarn was never a thing, so you can't cancel something that never was.
I say, sir, your argument is hilarious.
your argument rather
I do declare
this evening in quite a humorous mood, especially when I hear something as ludicrous as what you're spouting off at the mouth, good sir.
It's like a gentle sap rolling down the edge of a mulberry tree.
Yeah. Like
The Office.
That
Helms, baby.
Yeah,
I'm telling you guys, I just started watching The Office again, and every time I hear a dick joke, I'm like, that's what she said, bah! And I start laughing by myself. I'm like, I'm such a dork.
Oh, my channel's been doing that for over a year now.
We're all a Michael Scott, all of us.
My 5-year-old started saying that. My wife was like, he's going to Catholic school. He can't be doing that shit.
Hey, let me tell you, it doesn't help. I went to Catholic school.
Hey, I did not.
And look how I turned out.
Yeah, I know all the kids that like came to high school after they went to Catholic school through 8th grade because they came to regular high school, and I always went to public school. They were like the wildest motherfuckers. Like when they got out of there, it was like, and my dad. I grew up. My dad is a Marine and an undercover cop. All right, and I grew up in that house, and it's like I was a Thundercat when I was young, man. I mean, it was like the most strict households always been the wildest kids. So
you gotta rebel. Then the more they try and keep you down, the more you're just like, it must be great whatever they're telling me to do. That's why they want me to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like when people, when you're in a loose family, you do not feel the need to try for something.
Yep.
Okay. But when you're in a strict household, you're like, damn, there's something out there that I must do. And they cultivate themselves. So we have to thank our parents. So any girl that you've had satisfying sex with, you have to go to her dad and thank her and be like, you know what? Those hugs that you deprived her and those timeouts, yeah, they really work. And for us guys, if you're with a guy, a stand-up guy, like I'm talking to the ladies and maybe to the guys out there, we're all inclusive. So if you're with a guy that actually can hold his shit, go to his mother and say, I want to see that wooden spoon you broke over his ass.
Dude, my mom used to beat me with wooden spoons, dude. Holy
that's
shit.
That's how we turned out. And today you're like, you're going to take a timeout, Tommy. Go to the corner. You're going to be taking a timeout. Jesus.
Yep.
I got y'all beat. My dad actually built a paddle. Like fucking wood carving, had a nice little
this,
handle on it,
college?
little nail and a hole in it. He'd hang it on the wall. Yeah.
You can see him like carving it, like
He did. And then he fucking painted it and shit. And I'm like,
Speaking of Ben Affleck,
like
now I'm just thinking of Dazed to Confused.
I'm gonna whoop your ass. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can tell there was this sadistic glee that parents had. They were like, I mean, they don't like doing it, but I'm pretty sure that at some point they'd be like, you fucking deserve this. You'll.
Yep.
No.
My
I
dad
was in trouble. I was sitting in between I have an older brother, younger brother. My sister's the youngest. We were in trouble and we're sitting like that. And my dad comes over and knocks our heads together. And I was like, sir, I just got worse than both of them because I'm sitting in the middle. So only one side of each of their heads hurt and mine hurts double. And he was like, maybe I should have hit you twice as hard if you keep spouting shit like that. And I was like, well.
See, the thing with the paddle, though, is if you point your butt in just the right direction, you can brace for impact. If your mom goes and gets a stick off the tree, you're fucked. All right? The stick off the tree is the worst, right?
You pick a small one. You pick a small stick thinking that's going to hurt less. It's like, nah, motherfucker, that's going to cut. That's going to cut.
I mean, this one time, I remember my
Go
dad
choose your own beating instrument.
He broke off this little like branch and it was like very small. I'm like, you can't do shit. And then he just swung it and I heard whoosh. And when I heard the whooshing sound, I could actually see it. I could actually see it like a comic book whoosh.
There was a tiny thunder crack and then scarlet pain in my ass.
My dad would beat me and he'd just be like, hey.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
He just beat me and they'll get your fucking shine box.
Yeah, but look how well we turned out. Yeah. And I'm not pro disciplining and beating the shit out of a kid.
No.
So the worst thing that you can do to a kid, you know what it is? Embarrass him.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's when they learn. Like I've been embarrassed by my mom so many times. My mom, she wouldn't lift a finger that much. Okay, but my dad, he wasn't disciplining around the house. But my mom had another tactic. She's like, I'm gonna make you feel bad. You know why I don't steal, gentlemen? You know how I stopped stealing? I had this thing when I was a kid. I was a stealer. Like when I was 14, 15 years old. Like I remember this one kid, we were playing ball and he left a couple of loose change, and I'm like, okay, do it. And then I was working for my uncle's garage, Katarn origin story. Yeah. So I was working for my uncle's garage and he had like these little containers of oil. Not important for a 14-year-old kid, but I just set my mind. They looked so cool. Like they were like so flashy and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I should take them. And my mom catches me with a box full of those down in our warehouse where we had. And my mom caught them. And now she could have done one of two things. Obviously, she was embarrassed, so she could have done the thing like, put those things back. I swear to God, I'm going to beat the shit out of you, but put them back and make sure nobody sees you. But my mom did the bravest thing. She did the bravest thing a mother could ever do, and I'm thankful for that now. She took me by the hand with the box of the oil containers right in front of my uncle, and she said, tell him what you did and you apologize. And I cried my ass off and I felt so bad. She exposed me for everyone to see. There were people there. My uncle, he was like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. He put the box away. He's a sweetheart. He never called me a thief. No one in the family ever called me a thief, but my mom exposed me for that. She made me feel so bad that the last time, like when I was in camp with everyone else, I kept my hands to myself. I never, like, if I see loose change that's not mine, I'm gonna be like, that's not mine. A long time ago, I'd be like, So if you want your kid to learn, make an example of them. She didn't lift one finger. She didn't raise her voice. It's when you face the music. It's when you face the consequences of your action. You can't do that without like hitting your kid or screaming at him. Just make them confront what they did.
If you want your child to become Batman, make the sacrifice, hire a guy to kill you and your wife in an alley. All right.
On that note, hey, Appalachian Americans got to take off. Hail to thee, sir. Thank you for joining us, man. It was great having you on, and I'll be joining you guys pretty soon on another stream over on the what's your channel called? Go ahead and plug that real quick for us. Hang on one second.
Over here at the mid room. Right now we're just doing like a weekly kind of live stream, but I really do want to get into writing and making my own like topic videos. As you can tell, I'm kind of a big Power Ranger fan. So there might be some stuff on Power Rangers coming up. I don't know. But I also do a gaming live stream where we just shoot the bull and play video games on Saturday mornings at 6:30 on that YouTube channel. So yeah, pretty much what we do.
Well, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it, Seth. And
man.
I'll try to jump on one of those Saturday morning streams with you one time. I can just jump on there for a little bit and hang out.
Oh yeah, doors always open, man.
6:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get up. I call it coffee and gaming.
That's cool. I like.
I'll have coffee. I'll have coffee, smoke a ball, and sit there.
I call that Saturday morning.
I could maybe do that.
Yeah. See. But, all right, bro.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Bye bye.
One of my favorite things is like when you say something extravagant and they're like, you know what you call when you get fucked by a bear and you get raped by a tiger and stuff? They're like, oh my God, that's horrible. I call that Wednesday night. And they look like this and they're like, oh, okay. This guy's pretty hardcore.
Speaking of extravagant, let's talk about Gal Gadot and the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer because
I'm thirsty.
Okay. Yeah, she is Gail is Gal. I think that's
Gal Gadot.
Gail. I just call her Gail. Because I'm an uncultured swine American. I just call her Gail. She's my.
We don't give a shit about other people's colors. Have you seen the Cinema Sins 3-minute video? Everything wrong with Cinema Sins, and the last thing he says, "We're Americans. We don't give a fuck about other people's culture."
She is my fellow Jew. I really do.
She's Israeli, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She was an Israeli soldier. But she was like a trainer in the Israeli military, which really is kind of, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of hot.
Well, she's a real deal. Yeah.
Fast and the Furious 4 or 5.
Yep.
She's as tall as me.
Yeah, she's a yeah. But so this trailer, I really liked the aesthetic that they gave to Cheetah. I want to talk about that for a second because despite Kristen Wiig being in Ghostbusters 2016,
I think she was a good choice despite that.
Exactly.
Kristen is a great actress. Okay,
thank you.
Yeah, I like her as an actress. The reason for not liking Ghostbusters 2016 does not have to do with like Kristen Wiig.
No, it's a shit movie.
It had to do with Paul
Feig. Paul can't direct. Paul doesn't know how to write for men.
Melissa.
No, there's tons of problems with that.
Melissa McCarthy.
There's just a maelstrom of bad decisions.
It's terrible.
But this.
So you liked how Cheetah? Because I wasn't sure. To me, she looked. Now it was night in the shot that we see her as Cheetah, but to me it was like very gray. I was expecting like a orange cheetah.
I think
maybe it's the lighting because it was kind of dark.
I was thinking maybe that's the same thing too, and it is a trailer again. You don't want to give away the entire movie.
I think they might touch it up a little bit. I think that they will because they have all the fucking time in the world right now. No one is going to.
The fighting looks pretty cool though.
Just please, no more Henry Cavill lips. Okay, can you promise to not do that anymore? We don't want any more of this shit. Okay, I don't want to see any more of this ever again. All right.
Yeah,
so you just left him with the mustache and been like, "This was at a point when I tried out a mustache."
I think I can speak for the entire normal universe. Nobody would have given a fuck if Henry Cavill had a beard or a mustache. Nobody would have cared. It still would have been Superman. It would have worked.
Would have been less distracting than what
but the thing is that he wouldn't be able to shave it off with a human razor because he would just completely destroy it.
I mean, technically, after you die, doesn't your hair kind of grow a little while anyway? So you would have.
Well, it's actually your skin shrinking that causes it to look like your hair and fingernails grow more because like all the skin on your body tightens and recedes. So I think they determined that that's not actually growth, but just like shrinkage of the rest of your skin. But I've heard that too. It's like, your fingernail.
You want to ask someone with skin like that? Ask Palpatine because I have died before.
I am the Senate.
I've been resurrected by lazy writing.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
What?
That's it.
What?
Yeah,
good.
This was good Palpatine. I mean, like, if I were to interrogate him, I'd be like, "How did you come back?" It'd be like, "J.J. Abrams pulled me out of his ass."
You know what's so screwed up?
Mystery box.
Like 2 seconds. When The Force Awakens came out and they were rewriting stuff, the book came out, and Palpatine, before like Return of the Jedi, they came out with a book where he's like, "I sense something in the unknown regions," and he was supposed to be sensing Snoke, and he was afraid of it. So like Palpatine was building up to that.
He's like,
then you have like the rest of the stuff from their bullshit meandering nonsense come out, and it's like, oh, turns out Palpatine was Snoke. It's like, so you didn't know what you were doing the entire time. Just to be clear, you didn't. You scrambled and screwed it up.
Yes, Keely. Yes, Keely Chow.
Guys, it's not about the titties. It's not about the ass. I'm talking about Gal Gadot as common. It's not about that because I like glorifying and objectifying women. So yeah, I celebrate female body. It has nothing to do with ass or chest. I have been with girls with big breasts, small breasts, anything. But if she has a flat ass, and yeah, it's not only the flat ass because I have a big heart. I forgave that once, but the thing is, the drive. It's the attraction. Okay. Yeah. And Gal Gadot, she has chemistry. I mean, she could. I've seen this thing the one time where she kissed a girl. And I'm like, oh my god, girls on girls action is hot again.
Seriously, she's crazy.
She's crazy. She's funny. She's a fun person. And you know what? Military people are fun. Teachers, lawyers, military people, like people with the most disciplined jobs ever are the freakiest, are the funniest.
And I would say Kylo or whatever his name is from, he was probably the most, he was probably the best in like interviews and stuff. Outside, you know what I mean? And like Gal Gadot is the same way. You have her playing Wonder Woman. She doesn't see. And here's the thing: Brie Larson's like, I feel this is my chance to use my platform to advocate for strong women. I was like, bitch, don't you get the point of your character is supposed to do that? Your character is supposed to be doing that. People are supposed to watch the movie and that's what Wonder Woman seems in doing. You watch her and you don't feel like she hates men. She's just like
right. That's the point.
And standing for what she believes in, and it's like.
She's very caring. She's empathetic.
In the last 10 years, guys, in the last 10 years, men have more reasons to be distrustful of women than the other way around. From 2010 to 2020, girls are douchebag. For the majority. I'm talking about the big majority out there. Girls have been treating guys like chicks. Okay? That's partly our fault. Because a long time ago, I can't imagine my daddy, even if he had a cell phone, okay, even if he had a smartphone, it'd be like, hey, want to hang out? No. Okay, see you later, bitch. Hey, want to hang out? No. Oh, is your sister available? No. How about your mom? I heard she's going through some trouble with your dad.
That sounds like my old man.
There are guys that exist like that. There's all different kinds of people. Don't judge.
Excuse me. Can I touch you? No.
With a sexist brush. As soon as you say something like all women are or all men are, you're an idiot.
Something I wanted to bring up too is nowadays you got superhero. All right, everything is superhero. People have a tendency to not be able to distinguish, reality from behind the scenes. So these people that they pick to play these iconic superheroes have to be like sports people where they can handle themselves in the press. They need to be able to sit Hall H and answer 500 nerd questions without losing their shit. So that's why people like Ed Norton didn't make it as the Incredible Hulk, because he's kind of a douche.
And he wouldn't be good for the long haul.
The reason that Brie Larson doesn't fit in is because Brie Larson is one of those people that's using her platform for her activism.
Thank you very much.
Fans don't like that shit. All right, they it comes off as entitlement and disingenuous, and it pisses them off.
And like go somewhere like on your own time. Use your ability, like you're a millionaire or whatever. You can go to events where it's like fight for women's rights. Like that's the event. You go there and you say like I'm Captain Marvel and I'm for the. That's great. But when you're at an award show for a movie and stuff like that, you don't just say I don't care what.
If you have a cause that you want to get behind, you can do it silently. I don't yell at people. I'm gonna be eating a grilled cheese sandwich. I'm gonna take a shit. I'm gonna have sex with my wife. I'm gonna do this.
Well, it's just it. In the 2020s, if you want to be a superhero and be a star in multiple movies, you have to almost be like a politician, where you can handle large crowds of people and handle the fans and respect the fans. Respect being the key word, because there's no fucking respect anymore. All right, everything is hey, we made this. Why didn't you go see it? You're all bad people.
Jon Favreau has started to like spike back in the other direction.
Yep.
And I really appreciate that, and I hope they give him more stuff. And like, because he, like, the recent comments that he's come out with, you can just tell are like so polar opposite to the stuff that Kathleen Kennedy was saying at the beginning, where she's just like, no, I don't feel I owe anything to male fans. No, I don't feel it. This is what we're about. This is what we're doing. And she never says Star Wars is what she's about, or Star Wars is what she's doing. She says like strong women, or this, that, or the other thing. John Favreau, when he just came out with his new thing, he's like, you need to look at the core fans. You need to look at the new people as well as the core fans. You need to realize that this experience that you're making for this wide variety of people, you need to realize that this is some people's first foray into this, and you need to give them something. And you need to realize that your hardcore fans who have been there forever, supporting the product, supporting this because they love it, they've been there forever,
spending that money
to give it for that. Yeah, exactly.
Understanding what fans like too. Yeah. I don't know if how many of you guys watched the Orville. Did you see?
I did not.
I did not. Okay, I just watched both seasons back to back of the Orville. Okay, and John Favreau directed a lot of those. Okay. John Favreau also did Mandalorian, as we know. But watching the Orville is the reason why I'm watching Deep Space Nine now. I'm watching the Orville, and I'm realizing how much I miss those good Star Trek type stories, because the Orville is 100% Star Trek in mind and spirit, in the way that it treats its stories without making you take sides. It's dealing with social issues without forcing you to take sides. It's attacking it from a non-objective standpoint, and it's showing you both sides' points of view. And it made me miss those stories so much that I went back and started watching Deep Space Nine. I'm like, man, I miss them good Star Trek stories. But that's a guy that understands the fan base. Totally.
And I was going to say, I remember the reason that I actually started watching the Orville, because I'm not a Trekkie. I've seen some of like the original stuff, and I like different parts of it, but I never watched all of it all the way through or anything. But what I heard from a fan of Star Trek when the Orville came out, they're a big Star Trek fan. They go, the Orville is more Star Trek than anything Star Trek right now.
Yep.
And I was like, that's fascinating to me. And I like the humor aspect, so I'll check it out. I totally got into it. The Orville got me into checking out other Star Trek stuff, the classic stuff, like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because like that really, and that's just like that's the beauty of what you can do with a parody when you show love and respect. Like a parody,
it's not even really a parody. The humor aspect is just Seth MacFarlane being Seth MacFarlane. It's the transitional stuff. Okay, the stories behind the episodes are actual serious stories, like you would see in any of the Rick Berman era Star Trek
great
stuff.
Science fiction ones too. I mean, some classics like the Menagerie, like, you know, that's classic. Rick and Morty did that. I mean, like, and that's what you get when you realize that you're appealing to science fiction fans that have seen a lot of different stuff. And when you put in references like that, homages that actually understand what they're paying homages to, as opposed to just ripping off shots.
Superior show. They're just stick figures, dude. They're just drawn randomly. Okay, that's not like the best anime. It's not like Japanese anime style, but it works so good because they're invested writers behind it. That's what I fucking love about Rick and Morty. I can watch this show on repeat over and over again.
Dan Harmon understands story structure to a point that's absolutely hilarious, and he gets meta. Like, that's the other thing that he really gets. That's why I love Community, and that's why I love like Rick and Morty. They had a recent episode that apparently some people didn't like. It was like the story train. He alludes to the story train back in Community. Like, I was watching the episode and I was like, oh my god,
I remember that.
He didn't end up making that episode until so much later, but you can tell that it's in his head, and that's how he thinks about these things. And that's the same way that you know, George Lucas, he was basing it off of the hero's journey, which is, you know, the basic steps. And this is, you know, John Campbell, scholar, went around the world, studied mythology, religion, stories from all over the world. He said, how on different parts of the world at different times when these cultures hadn't intersected, how are they telling the same stories and why? That's the hero's journey. And when you follow that, I'm not saying you have to follow it word for word, but like when you follow those things, you pretty much come off with something that relates to the human experience. And it's tested throughout all human history. It's what Pixar does with most of its movies. That cycle that they go through, and it's what most of the Marvel movies did it. I mean, the Death and Rebirth, Thor. Hey, the first movie, you fall from the sky and lose all your powers. Then you have to learn to deal with that, and then you come back because you have to fall so that you can gain something. It's not if there's no conflict, then it's not an exciting story. And if you're just super powerful, if you're just, it's not compelling.
I got a bad cough, guys. I think I might have corona.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that's the problem with like a lot of these heroes is that they want so bad. Their main focus is so hard to be like, we have to show a strong woman, that they can't risk showing her being weak because then they're like, we can't have her be weak. She's a strong woman. I'm like, you need to show them in a moment of vulnerability or weakness because that's how we empathize with them. That's how we relate to these characters. Oh, I felt low myself sometimes. I felt weak myself. That character, that Superman feels weak. I can relate to, and that makes it a better story. When they're just perfect, it's like, well, that's not. I can't relate to that.
That's the big thing. I mean, when they were writing Ray's character, they were like, so Ray, what's special about her? And they're like this for 45 minutes. I got it. She's a woman.
That's all they could come up with.
Bestest Jedi ever.
Bestest ever.
When you actually tell sequel trilogy fans, hey, what about Leia? What about Ahsoka? They're like, they were characters created in the second era of Star Wars, you know, before the progressivism. They're like, yeah.
See, because episode 2, Attack of the Clones, how are we going to get out of this, Obi-Wan? The 2 Jedi are still chained up, and she's on top of the tower whipping a giant cat. And I'm just like, dude, she doesn't even have the Force.
She just straight up climbed up there, picked a lock.
Yeah, she's a badass. And she was a queen at what? It's like, you're telling me they're not strong. Shut the front door on your face, and then I hope it just kills your face so that you never get to say these things again. Star Wars, we brought strong women to Star Wars. You're insane. Leia choked out Jabba the Hutt with the slaves of her own bondage when she was put into sex slavery. There is no more metaphor.
Because SJWs didn't exist then, so they did not approve of the
Plus,
fandom.
she was being objectified in that bikini.
She was being objectified
by the guy that she killed.
Exactly.
The world was created in 2016, Vase. That's why.
That's about what they. If you ask anybody on Twitter, nothing happened in society before 2016.
Yeah,
that's the linchpin for everything.
She said, Carrie Fisher even said when someone asked, like, how am I supposed to talk to my son about seeing you in that metal bikini or da-da-da? And she goes, tell him a giant slug forced me to wear that, and I killed him.
Yep.
And I'm just like,
she was fucking awesome. Carrie Fisher was
also
great.
That metal bikini paid for your college, bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like, all right, Dad, don't act like you didn't jack off.
Yeah, you wanked to that, bud. We know. We know.
I mean, hey,
I named both my hands Leia.
You know, I could tell that Carrie Fisher's death was unfair. She was the only person to ever go on air. What do you think about Ryan Johnson? Oh, he's an asshole.
Yes.
Straight.
I have that sound clip saved.
And Mark Hamill is such a sweetheart. Mark Hamill is such a sweetheart that he's like,
he tried his best to warn people, but then
and they're like,
he had a reputation for being, you know.
I actually can quote Harrison Ford's opinion on Star Wars. Let me show you. Harrison Ford, what do you think about Star Wars?
Chewie, I'm dead.
I don't give a shit about no Wookiees.
Chewie, I was in a movie. I was in I was in the real Han Solo prequel. It was the movie with the dog. What the fuck was that movie called? Harrison Ford was just in with the fucking.
When you come down off
Call
your
of the Wild,
you realize you're not in space.
Yes. Call of the Wild. That was like the Han and Chewie prequel we didn't get.
The Millennium Falcon anymore.
Chewie, we got a fucking sled and a rowboat.
It takes the right amount of weed to get
the dog
to be in a movie with a CG dog with eyebrows.
The dog's like, didn't they have a person playing that fucking dog?
I love the interview when Harrison Ford went to Mark Hamill. He's like, shouldn't my hair have all of this smudge stuff?
Hey kid, this ain't that kind of movie. Realize this, we're in big trouble.
Like, I don't sound like that. I'm sorry, I can't do a Harrison Ford impression, but you know, Emperor Palpatine is up my alley.
You just to do Han Solo, you just have or Harrison Ford. You just have to sound like you're hungover and don't give a shit.
Thank you. Yes.
That's it.
That's easy. I'm like,
I've been flying planes all my life.
I'm sick of asking, where's my family?
What do you want for breakfast, son? Are you okay? Just put the eggs, poach them, make sure.
Don't go like Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Hey, don't over.
You got to sound like you're on the 6th day of a 7-day binge. All right.
Oh, yeah. Like, hey, don't overcook those beans. We don't have beans. Fuck.
Get some spam. I don't give a fuck. Spam potatoes. Oh shit. So let's so Wonder Woman. Does anybody have any apprehension about the Maxwell Lord character and the are we all aware of the spoiler alert with the monkey paw and all that?
My only problem with Wonder Woman is that and I'll throw it to the panel here. Okay. The fact of the pandemic delaying all these movies coming out, the fact that the marketing has pretty much already spent its load on these movies. Do you feel like the prolonged agony of these movies coming out is more damaging or building more anticipation?
They're losing as fans, we get more anticipation, but them as business, they're losing money, definitely.
I personally I have a confession, and it's not fair, but I feel like I just don't have the same anticipation for it as I did 6 months ago.
Yeah. The thing is that with this whole COVID situation, guys, we've kind of changed our priorities, and right now what we want to do is to be able to fucking go to a convenience store without looking like this.
I do every day.
Oh, I
do too. I don't. I had a greeter at Walmart a female greeter try to start a fight with me. I had a 5 foot tall woman start talking shit to me outside of a store because I wasn't wearing a mask. I mean, it's just like I just want to go to a theater, sit there and fucking watch a movie. That's all I want to do. I don't
want to get into that debate, but I did get the
words. Mark my words. When this COVID shit is over, the same Karens that were like, "Wear a mask. Wear a mask. You're contagious." When they take it off, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, I made fun of the mask. I never wore one."
Oh, absolutely. But what my concern, and I don't want to turn it into like
I got fined $150 for a mask, and I'm like, so this cures me now. I don't need to wear a mask anymore. You cured me with a fine. Thank you, trooper.
I'll just leave it at this. Okay, I got an email from AMC because I'm a Stubbs A-list member. All right, they've turned it back on. The movie theaters are open up again, and I'm reading the little bullshit things that they tell you got to do. Okay, now I'm not going to get into what. I don't want to get into whether pro mask, anti-mask. I'm fucking sick of that argument. But here's my thing. All right, they're saying masks are required to be worn unless you're eating popcorn.
So isn't there a second where I'm eating popcorn and I choke on one of them and I just cough and I
Who's
spread?
to say how much popcorn I eat? What if I want to go back for refills? You're going to take it. What? Hello? What's going on? Hello? I don't get it.
So our theater, I have a local theater. It's a family-owned deal. It's been open since like 1940. It's like 47, 46 or 47, something like that. You have to wear, and I'm fine with this. You wear a mask when you walk in the front door. Okay, you pay for your ticket, get your drinks and whatnot. All right. When you go into the main part of the theater, the main lobby, take your mask off. They say please wear it if you go in the bathroom, but there's like 5 people that work in the theater because it only seats like 200 people. And what they were doing when they were showing all the classic movies was they were only allowing like 100 to 110 to 115 people in there. Yes, he has a plague mask. Yes. Yes.
Do you know what I like about humanity? Suddenly everyone
now, can you put popcorn in there?
I like it. I mean, do you know what I love, guys? I really love the fact. Yeah.
This is how you eat your popcorn.
You could be doing like this and just lift your beak up so that the water can go down your throat like a bird does.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Katarn. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I mean, what's funny about this whole situation is that humanity, one of the most unsanitary beings on this planet, they're like, how many times have you shaken someone's hand and you're like, he must have touched his balls before this handshake? You must have gotten some like,
what do you mean? I'm wearing a mask,
scratching and stuff, and then he gives you your hand for your interview and like, do you want this job? You better shake my hand. I just touched my dick. And then the same guy is wearing a mask. He's like, oh, I don't want this contagion. Please don't touch me.
What they
Dude, I'm telling you, because there's still a lot of sexism here. If a hot girl came into a store without a mask,
nobody's gonna say anything to her.
No, she's not infectious. She's cute. She's hot.
I'd infect her.
Yeah, I'll infect your womb.
No, hey, why infect her? Hey, baby, I've got the shot and the cure. I've got the syringe too. I was born with it.
20. Like, are you Bill Gates?
Dream killer, baby.
The dream killer.
Yeah.
I think my biggest fear with the movie theater thing though is it's like, you've already got a lot of assholes in movie theaters anyway with their cell phones and being obnoxious and making a lot of noise and talking through the whole fucking movie. Now you're going to have
put on a mask, shove their face in.
You're going to have people arguing about mask versus no mask now. And I know I'm going to be sitting in the theater and that fight's going to break out right in front of me. And I'm going to reach right down and pull out my pepper spray. And I'm going to solve that shit.
Just start spraying. Just Dwight Schrute the shit out of them.
Seriously, I'm going to resolve it. I'll spray. I'll get up. I'll call the police and let them fucking deal with it. And I'll go home and wait for the movie to come out on streaming. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, don't you just want to go to the movie theater just to mess with people that are like, you know what I did to the bank the other day? I wasn't wearing a mask. And everyone was like queued up and stuff, and they were like wearing their masks. And I love the fact that when they wear their masks, they get extra paranoid. They're like, so what I did, I went without a mask, and I did one thing. Oh my God! And you should have seen them. They just dispersed. My eyes even watered. I put on a good show, and I was like. Oh, I just choked on my.
Because you're faking a sickness during a pandemic.
That's like yelling fire on an airplane.
I mean,
I only have syphilis.
Hey, there's the zombie that starts off the 2020. He's not wearing a mask, so he's just who
had zombies in Greece in September 2020.
You guys are all missing out on a great. You're all missing out on a great opportunity. I don't know about you guys, but I've taken advantage of this opportunity. When I'm wearing one. I stick my tongue out at fucking everybody all the time, nonstop.
It's just like
I do. I just walk around the store.
Sometimes I roll my tongue.
The only time that I have to wear one when I go into my son's school, like in the main part, I have to wear one. That's fine, and I'm not going to argue with that. Like wearing it in the cafeteria and stuff like that at lunch. Obviously we go outside for recess.
Well, yeah, if you're going to be a lunch lady, you're going to have that bullshit ass fucking shower cap on.
Bitch, I don't got to wear no hairnet. I'm bald.
Yeah, put it on your goatee.
I'll put a hairnet on my goatee.
Never heard anyone. There's a virus in my soup, but if they see a hair, they'll be like, "Yeah, there's hair in my soup." No one ever said there's a virus in my soup.
There's a fly in my soup, waiter. There's a dead guy in my soup.
Well, Pete will just tell him that that's the seasoning for the soup of the day. So.
Mix them around.
It's the soup du jour.
It's the soup from the movie Waiting. Okay,
that's because our soup is fly.
Extra seasoning.
Oh God, what the fuck? I got me like R. Kelly out here.
I'm fighting for my life.
No,
dude, I remember on Chappelle's show when he made that video about R. Kelly, and literally like the intro to that video, Chappelle started the crowd. He's like, "So R. Kelly calls me up. He's like, man, how you gonna make a video about me peeing on people?" And Chappelle's like, "Man, how you gonna make a video about you peeing on?"
Yeah. So fuck it. We made the Piss on You remix. Here it is. I love Dave. He was fucking brilliant. But we got speaking of brilliant, can we talk about you've got the mask on, Vase? So the Batman. All right. I was initially, especially when I heard Robert Pattinson talking about not working out for this role, I'm like, okay, you don't have to be Ben Affleck swole for this, all right? But I want a little bit of effort. When Zoe Kravitz was talking about training like 6-7 days a week during quarantine, and Robert Pattinson's like that article that he did, I did a video on. He's talking about just laying around doing nothing, eating garbage. I'm like, you're not Batman. You're gonna play Penguin.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because in all of these superhero action movies, everyone has trained. Have we seen them flop? Have we seen this likable character? So their training means nothing. Okay? It's the actor, how they deliver. Okay? If they think that their training is enough to actually portray a good, to give a good performance just because they trained well, it's like, I got my college degree because I studied, so I'm entitled now, so I have to succeed everywhere. No. You got your degree, but you need to work on other things other than that. You need to work on your acting,
Respect is earned, not purchased.
Exactly.
Well, have anybody you guys seen the Lighthouse?
I have not, but I've heard it's an excellent movie.
I own The Lighthouse.
Claustrophobic, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, fantastic performances, fucked up movie. All right,
I saw it premiere in Cannes when I was interning there.
Okay.
And so I saw premiere there, and I heard Willem Dafoe talk about it, and it was really cool to listen to him talk about how he picks roles. And actually, after seeing that, when I heard that Pattinson was Batman, before that movie, I would have just been like, what are they thinking? After seeing that movie, I was like, I can see it. Okay. I was
the thing with The Lighthouse is it's very much like it's an actor's movie where the director just turned on the camera and said, you guys do stuff and we'll tie it together in post. And that's exactly what the fuck it is. I'm sorry. There's no discernible, coherent narrative to anything going on there, but goddamn, the performances are worth it. You know, that's all I can say.
The performances are amazing. May not embody him physically. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And the beatdown scene that they did, it's just a teaser.
Trying to figure out how the cowl fits. So when everyone's like, oh, the cowl doesn't fit, do you think that in your life when you attempted something, you got it on the first try, you could make scrambled eggs and fucking screw it up? And when people are like, this is delicious, they won't know how many times you screwed up, how many eggs you threw out, how much milk you wasted, you know? So I like this version, and when they see the emo eyes, like, emo.
Yeah, that was Keaton wore that too. Every one of them had.
He was fresh off the costume, dude. That was a beautiful detail.
I was fine with that.
Yeah, I didn't have any issue with that.
Anyone that's complaining about that, you know, they're just looking for something to complain about. I've heard legitimate complaints, but the whole timeline that they're setting up is that it's like it's like the end of his first year. Yeah. So like, you know, and that's what even in the trailer, that like Alfred is like, so you're getting famous. So like this is like, you know, he's been fighting crime. He may have come up against some people, but this is like probably a big establishing moment of like terror of like, and that's great early in his career, because that's like very much so is, you know, the epitome of like the almost at the end of his career Batman. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like last of his prime, heading towards a downturn. This is a completely different, you know, Batman.
We needed to explore. This is something I always wanted to see, how a young Bruce Wayne.
And it's not Batman Begins.
No.
Even in that, he was like older and he had done other stuff. This is like younger, and also it's not like, again, Batman Begins was like his first this is like a year after Batman Begins, if you will. If you had to set it up, if you had
it's supposed to be like year 2, right? That's what you said. Yeah. So this, no, I think Pattinson looks good in this. You alluded to the beatdown scene earlier. I like that they included that. I like that because I needed, as somebody who, you know, watched the Keaton, and Keaton was, it still had a darker tone, but he still kicked some fucking ass in that movie. And in, you know, Batman Returns, which I wanted to see a third one in that, but Burton got screwed out of that. But, you know, and that whole went in a whole different direction, which we'll get to that another night.
That's a whole stream all by itself.
Oh God, yeah. But no, this I needed to see that like he said, I'm vengeance. I was like, yes, okay.
Yeah. You know what's weird is you're sitting there, you're looking to say, I am the Batman.
I'm Batman. No. I mean, like, I like his voice. You know what I like about Robert Pattinson? Let me break this down for you guys. This is what I heard. Like, in one frame, I can just every frame of pause. Yeah. So, when you saw him there, his body language indicated a young man that wants to stand for something, looking for confidence. He was afraid. He just beat this guy down, okay? And he's like, I'm justice. But you could hear in his voice, that's my interpretation again, you could hear in his voice that he's someone that is just starting to get a hang of this. And I'm like, if you're going to explore that, fucking sign me. Sign me in, please.
I did. I liked it. And the one thing I was critical about was
Penguin unfucking recognizable.
Yeah. Big props to Colin Farrell for being fucking versatile as hell, because I'm not the biggest Colin Farrell fan. I've been on record saying that, but I think he looks good. This is going to be solid.
You know who I am a big fan of, though, guys, is Jeffrey Wright. I fucking love Jeffrey Wright and everything, and he's going to bring 130%, and he's going to fucking nail it. Yeah.
That's the thing. People are like, he's black. It's not about the.
It doesn't matter. It didn't matter.
It's about the delivery. When I saw him standing like this, I always remember Commissioner Gordon.
And also, since we're talking about this, we're talking about the Justice League and the Zack Snyder cut. Yeah. And we were talking about the Flashpoint thing. We might as well bring up that it looks like DC may be trying to do a multiverse thing to way over rival what Marvel even has going on. So we have this could be an alternate Earth, is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Alternate Earth Earth Batman, and so it doesn't matter if Jim Gordon's black because in that universe he is, and there are infinite Earths. So like, and if you start connecting all that stuff,
they could have with Spider-Man. They could have done that a long time.
Well, Marvel may start trying to pull something like that. We'll see. We'll see what Marvel have in store when. Well, see what Marvel has in store when Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness comes out.
I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I really want to see kind of like Vase said, the Crisis on Infinite Earths kind of thing. There are, like you said, infinite Earths, and they really utilize this in the Flash show, which I know the show has gone to shit. It really has. After season 3, it really dipped. But I'm sorry, I'm one of those people. I never had a problem with Candace Patton playing Iris West. I adore Candace. She seems like a genuine sweetheart, and I really felt bad for the shit she dealt with just because they made her black, which I was like, this is, who fucking cares? It doesn't matter. Like this one of those roles where it didn't, some roles you look at like, okay, I don't want to see Professor X and Magneto race swapped. I don't. You're telling me you're going to take Holocaust survivors and be like, no, fam. No, fam.
That actually protested.
That's kind of a big part of their backstory.
Yeah. So, but this one, no, I like this idea of this Batman. Like I said, I was kind of critical at Robert Pattinson at first because it's
I had no doubt.
I still have Twilight stuck in my head, but I haven't seen Lighthouse yet. I have not.
Guys, you don't have to see Lighthouse.
I want to though.
Twilight, listen. Twilight was a gig for the guy.
It was. Same thing with Kristen Stewart, and they both said it.
Hey, Pete, can we say our little
be trash because Robert Pattinson really cared about the girl.
Yeah.
Let's talk gossip, okay? They were together for some time, and she cheated on him, and he was such a sweetheart, and that plays a lot of role. I remember this is my sister's voice, by the way, because she was really into Robert Pattinson. And she made me watch Twilight. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you take away the story and Bella and... Okay, fuck it. Yeah, I know.
Take away the story.
Like, if you take away the story and the characters, yeah, we got nothing.
Then you wouldn't have Twilight, thank God.
Yeah. That's the thing. But one thing that I have to give is that Robert Pattinson started crafting on his... started working on his craft.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
And I've seen him in other things, and he looked good. Like Harry Potter when he played Cedric Diggory. When he died, spoiler alert, since 2000 something, when he died, it was one of the most heartbreaking things ever. Like when I saw his lifeless body there, I'm like, dude.
What was really heartbreaking was when the band started playing when his
director.
Like, Harry Potter just got dark.
That's my boy.
As if it isn't centered around child murder.
When Pete and I were watching the trailer, 'cause I think it's a pretty solid trailer, by the way. But one thing I was thinking is I heard duct tape.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the fuck? Yes. What is that noise? Is that the sound of DCEU trying to tape itself back together?
That is so meta. That is so meta. Yeah.
It's like, they're patching it all together.
Is that DC's way of saying, we got you, fam. We're going to fix this. We got your duct tape right here. We got Jeffrey right over here. We're going to fix this.
Go ahead, Katarn.
That might be a nod, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not going to monopolize here, but that might be a nod to it. But when I heard the duct tape, it's what I told you about Iron Man. It starts off on a grounded, very earthly thing. Like they said that it might be the Riddler, but he's not like using big tech. He's not using anything. He's just using plain old duct tape.
And that's the thing is like I want to see
it freakier. What makes it freakier? It's realistic. Yes. Have you ever heard duct tape and you know that you're gonna be taped? When I hear it like this, when I hear it just
I paid for that once. That's another story.
That's Wednesday night at Pete's house. What are you talking about?
Speaking of which, if we're gonna take I'm gonna take a momentary pause here. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting on a confirmation date from a very, very special guest, and well, we'll just say she's probably tied people up. She's tied people up with duct tape before. So that's all I'm gonna say, fam. I've been dropping little Easter eggs. I'm just waiting to get a date confirmation from her. But yeah, she's gonna bring the heat to Monday night when I finally get her on the panel here. So yeah, it'll be a very freaky evening. So but anyway, man, no, the duct tape thing that was honestly like brilliant for that beginning of that trailer.
Grounded.
It was very grounded.
You hear it.
And it was great. Well, they also have the logos up at the time, and the way that they have them stutter in time with like how the tape you know, will randomly release some more, you know, and it's like, and then, you know, you have the fully duct tape head, and there were so many hints to villains and stuff, which is really why it's great to like because the idea of this movie is like he's been doing stuff for a while. He's just now getting kind of like infamy as the Batman. People outside of just the criminals know who he is now, and criminals that he doesn't know about are starting to take shots at him as opposed to him just going after them. I think that's really cool.
Yep. It is, and this doing a Batman without a Joker, without a hint of a Joker, is exactly what they need to do. You need to the Joker. I'm not hating on the character. I'm not, because it's a great fucking character.
Oh yeah,
but
let's just say it. It's been done to death.
It's time to put it. It's time to put him
Batman.
Put him away for a while. You know. Dude, it's like the movie that I just watched. Was it The Killing Joke not long ago? Finally.
Oh my god.
The animated, and that was I watched it. I made the mistake of watching it with my kid. Yeah, I let Trey watch.
Yeah,
it.
wait. Do you have a boy or a girl?
I have a son. I have a 5-year-old son.
Okay, so your son is basically a man now. I watched The Lion King, and it fucked me up. I'm like, experienced death at like what, 3?
That's he likes
whatever
really
you do, don't introduce
thing.
him to Watership Down. You guys will both be fucked up after you watch that.
He sat there. I was so happy, dude. I was on AMC last year during Fear Fest. He sat there and watched Halloween 4 with me and didn't even budge. I'm like, my man. And he was 4. I'm like, my man.
That's the way I was.
It's
I
on
was
AMC.
That's what happens when you actually like have a kid and like fucking raise it.
Yep. I mean, he watches regular cartoons and does regular little kid things, but I mean, he'll sit there and watch like the Jurassic Park movies. He watched all the Jurassic World ones. Didn't scare him at all. Now, when I took him to see Jurassic Park in the theater and he saw the T-Rex on the big monster screen, okay, he got a little bit scared because T-Rex is fucking massive on the screen. But
don't take him to Universal
Guys,
Studios.
I have had nightmares of that dinosaur chasing me down.
Dude, I think I was 13 when I saw that movie. When that came out in the theater, I was 13, and that did not. It still, I was like, woof, you know, kind of like that is.
I watched Jurassic Park in '95, and then The Lost World came out, so I was a kid, and I could never get that raptor kitchen sequence out of my head.
Let's go faster.
It was one of the most claustrophobic scenes ever. Every time I'd have a nightmare, I always thought that I'd be chased by raptors. And then Jurassic World comes along and they're like, yeah, you have a nightmare? We're going to make them your best friends. And I've never had nightmares ever since. In my adult life.
Pete, whatever you do, don't take him to Universal in Orlando, because the Jurassic Park ride there ends with you going underneath of a life-size T-Rex.
Oh, dude.
Growling and moving. Yeah, right underneath that fucker.
When it better be open by the time I get, because like I said,
it's open.
Good, because when we come down there, I want to go.
I think they let 3 people in at a time, but it's open. Yeah.
Wait line for 17. It's like Russian bread line, comrade. Look, my people, we wait for vodka and potatoes.
All the wait
bread.
times are about as long as the movie in one of its sequels.
You're going to have to wait.
Russia, what is this? Broken glass factory?
Fuck. I've got actually Flip and I are working on something behind the scenes. We'll be from Mother Russia. Don't worry, comrade. I'll go back to my roots. And
in Mother Russia, you do not drink vodka. Drink.
Hey, in Soviet Russia, road forks you. But so back to the Batman though. So we got the Riddler in this. Looked like we got the Penguin too. Like I said,
we haven't had Riddler and Penguin since.
We haven't had Penguin since Danny DeVito.
Riddler was 95 and Penguin was 91, I believe. Yeah, or 92. Yeah, 92. Yep.
Yeah, Batman Returns.
Yeah,
and Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito played the shit out of the Penguin. I'm sorry, I still want to see Danny DeVito play Wolverine. I think it should happen. Make that shit happen, Marvel. Danny DeVito as Wolverine, but no, really.
I'm gonna kill ya.
I just want to see him play Wolverine like Frank from fucking It's Always Sunny.
Marvel's What If.
Danny DeVito is Wolverine.
Come on, X-Men. We got to take down these guys because we're the X-Men.
Just no other reason. We're just a fucking X-Men. He's all drunk in his underwear and wife.
Yeah, and I'm a kumquat from Queens. What's your problem?
You guys do so well.
But no, I think this is going to be a good direction for this. And if you tied in, like we can kind of go over to the Flash movie now, which I'm still I fucking don't like Ezra Miller. I hate
the way they have him running. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it doesn't look natural. It's like, I'm sorry, dude.
It's
you got
like it reminds me of like, like the ice skaters.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were going for, like the speed skaters.
Yeah.
I think that's actually what they were going for, because he's supposed to be running like so fast, and he's just like, but then like Superman just flies by, and it's like, okay, that guy looks like he's just chill, and you're just like,
yeah, you know what?
Like, and here's the thing, I didn't get my hands up, but he's going
I'm
like
telling you,
this.
I'm on board with the Robert Pattinson thing. I just think he looks so deposed.
I'm good with that. Like I said, I'm absolutely good with that.
I was never
feeling about this guy. I can tell. Every movie that I've ever predicted since 2012 was good. When I saw Iron Man 3, I knew that something was wrong.
I'm gonna have a very unpopular opinion here. I don't mind.
Go ahead. Hey,
I don't mind Iron Man 3. I really. I know. I'm not a Marvel. I'm not an MCU stan either. I'm not one of those guys that Ripper talks about. I'm not a stan. But it's just I don't know. It's just something about the movie.
Growth.
Yeah,
it's good character.
Yes.
He has panic attacks. He has, and people are like, "Well, that's not superhero." I was like, "Exactly."
It's humanizing him. He's just a guy.
The next level. He, you know what? He dealt with something that no one else could do. And now he's falling apart, just like his suits are falling apart.
Yeah.
And that
it was such a good metaphor.
Yes,
he destroyed his suits in 2012, and then in Age of Ultron, he makes everything back again. The soul surgery was obsolete.
Well, exactly.
He was supposed to have the arc reactor. For me, this is my controversial opinion. The arc reactor was a part of him.
Yeah.
What saved him out of that cave. So as a sentimental guy, even if that shrapnel was reaching for my heart, I'd still keep that arc reactor to remind me who I am, why I started this, why I fucking came Iron Man, man.
It says at the end that nothing can take that away from him. That's the whole point. He's like, I don't need this to remind me of it anymore.
I am Iron Man at the end of Iron Man. I saw it recently. Because I decided to give it a second shot, and I'm going to admit that I'm a little bit biased here, because when I watched the new Predator movie from the same director, Shane Black,
Adam's gonna die.
That movie is a great time. It's a shit show and a half.
That movie is
fucking hilarious.
Play a drinking game and take a shot every time you see something convoluted. And
if ever there was a better example of just throwing shit against the wall to see what sticks, it's the Predator.
Okay, I haven't watched the new Predator movie yet. I've seen Black Christmas twice.
No. The Predator's not going to be anything like watching Black Christmas.
No. See, Black Christmas was like, I might as well have slammed my head in the door like Kill Bill.
No, it's going to be more like watching Turkish Spider-Man. Okay, it's going to be more like
that. Here's Black Christmas. The entire plot. You're white. You're bad.
It's the Last Jedi of Predator. It takes everything that you know about the Predator lore. And I'm not a huge Predator guy. I know how it works. Come here over here. Come get me. That's all I wanted to know. Because Arnold.
I want to get down.
I want to get out of here.
It's that kind of storytelling where you can feel like they wrote themselves into a corner and they just took some silly string and made it from get to A to B. Let's just throw some shit in here and stretch that out. And it's terrible.
Cheat codes, how to get myself out of
it is bad. It is a very bad movie.
Guys, writing is hard. I know it's hard, but it takes work. And if someone paid me to write full time at the luxury of my fucking house with my wife and kids, I mean, you're not working in fucking construction, Hollywood. You couldn't even lift a fucking.
This is the problem. If you look at Marvel, well, not Marvel, but Star Wars structure of how they build movies, they start with the release date and then work backwards. How are you going to ever have any success when you work off that business model?
Yeah, it's like you don't have the movies coming out. We just don't have a story or an idea or anything.
A director.
We live in a world where they cut creative writing so that they can make room for more football uniforms. How did you think this was going to pan out?
Yep.
Absolutely.
I predicted this shit a long time ago, and here we are. Yeah.
I'm possibly the youngest in this panel.
No, I'm just an old fart. I'm too old to be doing any of this stuff.
I'm 40. So I got no.
Man.
I'm 31.
31. Adam?
I'm 46.
That's okay. Hey, I wish I had a 46-year-old guy with me. 46-year-old guy, I don't want comics.
He says that's okay. That's kind of like Seinfeld saying, "There's nothing wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that."
Not that there's anything wrong. Now you're
No, hey, if anything,
now you're speaking my language.
The reins, man. It's up to you. It's you guys that we actually based off of. Like you.
No, I get a lot of unpopular hate because I predicted a lot of the things that happened because I saw them happen in slow motion. I'm old enough to have seen all of those things unfold. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the youngest. I'm 29.
Most people like in our circle, like especially the fandom menace, like they think that a lot of these things that we dislike and complain about just happened overnight, insidiously. And I'm like, no, that's not how it happened. You welcomed all this shit. You paid for it. You ushered these things in, and they doubled down on it. Now you're complaining.
Yesterday, that's what I said yesterday about Rogue One. Remember, guys, when I told you that the identity politics route was already ingrained there to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
It started off experimentally with Finn and Rey. It's like female protagonist, black to be protagonist, fake out. It's like we're giving it to the white girl. And then you get a British girl, Hispanic guy, Pakistanese guy, 2 Asians. We're diverse, y'all. We're very diverse.
That's
okay.
And Rogue, like I said, I like it.
That they're diverse because it fits in with like the story. Like,
yeah,
there's no,
it worked for me.
At no point was I like, they're just jamming diversity down my throat. I was like, no, these guys are in prison here. They're this. And like, it's fine.
You know why? Because you know why? Vase, it was subtle.
It was. That's
fine. Then I'm saying that I'm
watch a candle bite
with him. It works subtle. In the film.
It was organic, right?
I'm fine with it if it works in the film. Yeah.
It was organic.
I'm fine with that. Like, just like I was fine with Princess Leia being a woman and Lando Calrissian being black and diversity being a Jabba the Hutt. You know, like, I'm fine with all those things because that's the story that makes sense as it's coming into it.
Took it a step further. Okay, let us remove ourselves completely from the prequels, sequels, and original trilogy. Okay, and I'm talking about the old schoolers here, and I include myself in that for one reason. When I watched episode 4. Without the special editions, I'm talking about VHS before the special editions.
Mm-hmm.
When Han Solo goes to the hangar to smuggle Luke, Obi-Wan, and the droids off of Tatooine, you see this guy and he calls him Jabba. Just this right dude with his pelt walking, and he's like, oh, you know, he's gotten tired of waiting. And you're like, Jabba is not human? Who's Jabba? What? And people didn't know. We didn't see Jabba in episode 5. And then in episode 6, we're like, oh, Jabba's palace, and we need to see this guy. And then we see it's an alien slug, and completely blew our minds because George Lucas was like, I'm going to give them the kind of diversity that they need. So, yeah, not human again. I'm thinking of actually going with something a little more alien, yeah. You know, something a little more alien, it's going to work. Yeah, I'm actually going to try to do something different for the fans. And you know what gets me angry with fucking fans? What I'm telling you, Vase, this is an extension of yesterday, and I just thought of it. This is why I'm telling you, fans are at fault. When you see Hello Greedo, when you see all of these guys who are like, and George Lucas didn't know, and he just waves his hands, and you can see his bucket head not moving, and he's just waving his hands, talking nonsense, spewing shit. And he's like, yo, you know, The Last Jedi was good, and takes a shit on the prequels. How can you like the sequel trilogy and the original trilogy and take a shit on the prequels? I don't know how you do that. When I see all of these Hello Greedo guys out there that were born in the 80s and 70s, and they were like, oh, yeah. When George Lucas came out with Attack of the Clones, there was no social media back then, but I can imagine it. George Lucas, actually, he pulled up some chair like Santa Claus and was like, come sit on my knee. What do you want to see in the next Star Wars film? And every kid had one request. More lightsabers. We want to see more lightsabers. And George Lucas was like, oh, it's okay. I got you. 2002, Geonosis Arena, 200 Jedi. And then you see those same guys out there going like, it was too convoluted. And then you get Hello Greedo. Watching his lightsaber fight is like the bag of candy. And when you watch he sees the movies as a chore. When he says that you have to eat your meat and vegetables like a fucking 7-year-old, which is a chore for you to get to the candy, you don't like Star Wars. It just
what it is he sees the movies through the lens of the peers that he's trying to impress.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Like Christian fucking Harloff from Glider.
So well put. That is so true. He's
old
trying
fart here.
Everybody. He's trying to impress everybody. Old fart my ass. You're more vibrant than I am. You're more experienced. I should be learning from you guys. I don't have any guidance whatsoever. I'm just I'm just a dog chasing cars.
No, if they want to complain about the diversity, there's no point because if you go, I'm still going back to I'm going back to Star Trek again because all of Star Trek since day one, has been all about diversity. The show that I'm watching right now has a guy fucking made out of liquid. All right, there's a liquid guy. There's another lady that has a space slug inside of her. She's a conjoined species. All right, the captain is a black man. It's been there a long time ago. This is not a new concept.
You're talking about Deep Space Nine. You said
Deep Space Nine. Okay. All right, and Deep Space Nine is dealing with real world politics in an alien environment. That's what the fuck you need to do.
And that's the thing that they screwed up with Star Wars. They kept trying to inject like the actual world into and it's like use metaphors and shit.
They tried to be Star Trek.
They can't use metaphors when they don't know how to write in the first place.
They didn't even try to be Star Trek. They tried to be Marvel is what they tried to do.
They tried to be Marvel and they just inflicted stupid humor and they ignored the themes. Even from one movie to the next movie to the next movie. Right. They either went back and forth or switched themes or switched stories or didn't care. It was a mess. It's just a mess. It's narratively a mess. Looks beautiful, narratively a mess.
Everybody's been antsy. They've been antsy to get that cinematic universe thing going. Mm-hmm. And they prioritize that over everything else.
Yep.
That's the thing. Do you know what's funny? When I was a kid growing up, I used George Lucas's gospel. And like, would George Lucas do this? Would George Lucas do that? And I had a hard time writing my fan fiction. And I'm grateful for the sequel trilogy that they kind of broke new ground. It gets you thinking like they had good ideas with a poor execution. So they had an idea, but the execution was awful. It was off. That's the problem. Okay, you want diversity, yes, but don't make it about that. It's just, I'm just really sad that the first time I ever got to see Luke Skywalker on the big screen. No.
Ouch. Oof.
I mean, I have seen girls that I've known. I've seen an ex-girlfriend of mine take 3 cum shots in her face. I've seen a video of her taking 3 cum shots in her face, and it was less disgraceful than Luke Skywalker drinking the green titty milk. When I saw Luke Skywalker do this, and with his green dinosaur tit milk flowing all over his face like a homeless slob. Yes, that was disgraceful as a man. Okay. And at least I can say, hey, my ex, I've had an ex that's been nasty. At least, she's nasty.
Look, that's just how brilliant Rian Johnson as a director is. He said, hey, I remember Star Wars. He drank blue milk once. Get it? He's drinking green milk now.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, that scene doesn't bother me.
Blue milk because you had your fire lights on. If you have your green one, you're going to drink green light. Just let me write for them. I can write better.
I actually have footage of Rian Johnson, the inside of his head, while he was fucking trying to write The Last Jedi. Here's what happened when the first draft came out.
I'm loco. I don't know. We just add in some special effects.
That scene doesn't bother me near as bad as.
I want your take on male feminists. I'm working on a Twitter parody and I'm making fun of simps, and
they're not real.
No, they're the guys who can't get laid and they're trying everything they can. That's
fucking fake.
Okay, listen.
I believe that most of them have some kind of cross to bear, or they've got some dirt on them and they're trying to conform.
Joss Whedon was cheating on his wife with Eliza Dushku while he was making.
They have skeletons in their closet,
and now I'm such a woke bae.
A bone flies out of their mouth. They're like, so many skeletons, you know. I actually came up with this mock script, and I'm gonna read it to you guys if you want, because it's one of the things that okay, here goes. Like, I'm trying to make it like one of those infomercials, you know, like for drugs and stuff, that they're like, 1 in 3 people suffer of hemorrhoids every year. So I tried to make it like that, but about simping, because I've seen so much simping, guys. If there's a reason that feminists bitch about men, it's because of the simps. No woman has ever complained about a guy being a guy. But when you see a guy trying to be something less and trying to be, weaseling his way in, it's like, it's obvious. And it ticked off the feminists, and they get to talk about it. And that's the thing. So I wrote this. So I'm like, do you know that 3 out of 5 men worldwide suffer from the symptoms of being a simp? Of course it's not you. You're the best. Being a simp is a serious mental condition, and most men are unaware, even ignorant to its effects. So far, no cure exists, so pay attention to the following symptoms to make sure that you and your loved ones aren't afflicted by this disease. Mild symptoms may include dehydration because you're a thirsty-ass simp, delusion, thinking you've got game but you do not. Also, the simp has the idea that every time that they post on social media about them is a result of delusional ignorance. Yes, Bob, 7 minutes into following you and she's already tweeting about how much she wants you. Score. It's impossible for the simp to grasp and comprehend that she might be talking about someone else, or maybe no one. Maybe, just maybe. Don't get all excited. Simps also have this belief that the faster they comment on a woman's post, the more chances they have to score. Nope. Symptom number 3, lack of inhibitions and self-respect, where you make an ass of yourself on all social media for the world to see. Number 5, diminished comprehensive capacity and ignorance, where she subtly tells you to hit the road, Jack, but you're so thirsty you can't take the hint and keep going on anyway, despite the fact that she's clearly ignoring you. A simple pretend to understand your predicament, and every guy has been guilty of this. Oh my God, I totally understand. Oh yeah, a simple pretend to understand your predicament, but all he's looking for is an opening to start hitting on you, and like a loser, use a said predicament as a tool to get in your pants as usual. Pitiful. You know that guys have done this. Oh my God, you've got a hurricane coming your way. Oh, I hope you're safe. If you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm there. And when a woman sees this and they're like, this is a specimen of a male that I'm supposed to fucking breed with for the next generation, I don't want those genes in the next generation. You know? That's the thing. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little George Carlin-y here, but
it's all right, man. We grew up watching George Carlin.
I quote the great Dave Chappelle when he says, "Look, I can't live in this world that you're creating, man.
Yep.
Can't do it."
Was that Vase?
Symptom number 6, dismal social skills. Where even in a state of emergency like a natural disaster, a simple find a way to turn the conversation around and take a shot again in your pants, regardless of how inappropriate it is. If this is visible by the lack of humor or any charisma to attract the women via terrible misplaced jokes that aren't funny and horrendous pickup lines. Number 7, weaseling. As the name suggests, a simple uses words and navigate like a weasel instead of being straightforward like an alpha. Case in point, even when a simp does get bold and goes for it, they're destined to fail because women don't like weasels and they can see what you're doing. As a result of weaseling, the simp gets bold and demands things from her. You've seen this guy that you should come here. We should meet. We should be together. A real man suggests, never demands, because if you can suggest and persuade a woman to do something that you like and persuade her that she might like it, this is consent. Consensual. Yeah. Right?
What a Vase.
Side effects are very comprehensive.
I mean, this is an analysis. I know this is a parody, but I'm actually, if being a simp was a mental disorder, I actually have the groundwork here. A simple.
This could be in the DSM. This could be in the next issue of the DSM. Yeah, the way he's got it broken down.
You know, it's like he's got.
I mean, think about it, guys. Another thing that they're very guilty of is a simple pull off his same gimmick shamelessly onto the next woman, and he think he's playing the field. You're not playing the field. You got rejected, you jackass. And you're hoping that the same chick will work on the next chick. Well, maybe someone that has as low self-respect as you. That's when it's going to work. So a man will admit that he's making an advance, while a simple bitch out and try to weasel out the same way by using weak excuses while backing it up with their tails behind their legs. Demonstration. Man, alpha male. Hey, what's up? Want to get a cup of coffee? Oh, you have a boyfriend. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be a douche. You have a good life. I'll see you. Or you want to go out? Fine. When's is 8 o'clock okay for you? That's it. Okay, it's a date. A simp. I understand everything you're going through. You're a dynamic woman. You're so brave and heroic. You're so amazing. I can tell you're amazing. You're awesome. Can I buy you a drink? Can you come and meet me? This is simps. I'm telling you. I'm trying to defend men here, but in the past few days, it's been fucking impossible. Being a simp, it's just, dude, they're blissfully ignorant about the stupid shit that they say to women. Do you know why they're simps? Because they never had a friend like I did. Have you ever had that friend? I'm pretty sure that you guys have had this friend that whenever you say something stupid and out of line, they're like, dude, that was stupid.
Yep.
Then you're
Pull
like,
you right back in. They reel you back in. Like, come here, come on.
Yeah, it's like, dude, that was stupid. That was lame.
Mine, it was mostly when I was drunk.
Yeah, and that's why most of the people that you're talking about are, alone, because if someone was doing that for them, they didn't listen, and that person, the reason that people say that, by the way, is a lot of the times either A, to help you out, or B, because like if you say shit like that, I cannot be seen around you.
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh,
yeah, we're not in public anymore, bro. Sorry.
Manhattan projecting. That's what I call it. Like, you're keeping me hidden for what? Fuck you. Another symptom of being a simp, guys, and you have to watch for this, is hemorrhoids, because simps are butthurt.
I have the ultimate simp right here. Here it is. You ready? This is
okay, Jenny. And I'll mow the grass and raise the AIDS, baby.
There he is, right there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it took you this long to make a gif of that.
I've had that forever. I just rarely have the occasion to use it.
Mad at guys that have game. And you know what? There's this girl that I have a back and forth with, and there's this guy that hates my guts for the fact that she shot him down. And I've got more game. I'm more charismatic. Nothing happened, but I'm more charismatic. I'm just not the simp dive into your pants kind of guy. And he spammed my Twitter, everything. He even went and commented on the post that I made about my sister losing her baby. And do you know what he said? My sister also lost babies. She swallows them.
Jesus Christ.
This guy is part of the Fandom Menace. God fucking damn it. The Fandom Menace had Drunk 3PO, Abu Nas, Flipped Out, Rookie Critic, Angus Reviews, Jeff Shawley, all of those guys. Fucking, like, they walk... They lose 3 inches because of the weight of their balls, guys. I'm talking about real alphas out there.
Iron Wolf is a good friend of the program. He was on a couple weeks ago. I haven't got the opportunity to work with 3PO. I worked with Angus, and I had the privilege to work with Abu Nas. And Abu Nas is the fucking man. He is. He's on another. That man is on another.
Yeah, you and I were on that stream. Yeah.
Yep, that was over in Angus's.
I'm telling you, those were the guys. Those were the alphas, and we got so convoluted. We've got soy boys in our ranks. When you bitch radically about about the things that I agree with, the same way an SJW preaches radically about Ray, fuck you. Even if I agree with you, because it's not about the money; it's about sending a message. Sorry, wrong. Hold on, I've got the wrong script here. Wait, here we go. But the thing is that it's not about, agreeing or disagreeing. It's about how you stand by your point, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen sequel trilogy defenders with some perfect arguments, perfect for them. Okay. Like, this guy's like, I like Ray because, hey, I lost my parents. And I can understand what it's like when you're searching for them all your life. I never met my parents, so I can understand that. And to a point, I had respect for it. I mean, like, it's not that strong an argument, but this guy tried to put sentiment in it the same way I put sentiment in the prequels and the originals, you know? And that's the thing. I've talked on for too long, and
it's all good, man. It's all good. Vase, you had something to say, bro. What was you gonna say?
I forget. I just do have to actually get out of here. So.
Yeah, we've been running out. We ran on around 40 minutes longer than normal, but this has been a fire fucking episode, and I want to thank everybody for joining in. Appalachian American had to bounce out early. 5 a.m. comes early, he said. So I know I got to get up in a few hours too. So fucking thank you, Groove, for coming on. And what you tell everybody what you got coming up, because we're going to be doing a little collab here in a few weeks.
I have a lot of stuff coming out. A lot of new things happening in the channel. But first of all, tomorrow night, I need you to go to loiteringinwonderland.com. I know you guys know who Phoenix West is. He's been on the show before. I am part of his 2 podcasts that he does. One on Tales from the Crypt episodes, and Twilight Zone, classic Twilight Zone. We're reviewing 3 episodes tomorrow night on his channel, live at 10 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you're there. Subscribe to that channel. Also on Monday night, starting next month, I'm going to be live streaming on Monday nights with my buddy, the Professor. He's in the chat right now, Flair X. He's going to be my co-host. So we're going to be doing a new Monday show. Also, I'm going back to daily uploads again. There's going to be content coming out on my channel every day. Right now, Dune is the hot topic because just not enough people are doing those videos. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. So if that's your jam, make sure you subscribe to my channel, RaidersLostFlix.com. And then me and my brother Pete, every Friday, we watch a bad movie live with the audience. We let you vote on it via my online polls from RaidersLostFlix.com. It's a good time. It's complete escapism. We check out. We don't talk politics. We just watch a bad movie. We laugh at it, and then we score it. And also, Pete, by the way, I figured out why Hard Hunted got more votes than anybody else, like more views.
Why?
Because I used boobs as a keyword. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Boobs is the keyword. Work. So from now on, when we do Andy Sedaris, keyword boobs. Hashtag boobs.
We need to watch more Andy Sedaris movies anyway. Thanks, man. I appreciate it coming on. And
Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, no problem. Vase, what do you got coming up, brother?
So the next thing coming out on my channel, I always do comedy reaction videos, mostly to George Carlin. I've got a lot of him, but I branch out into other stuff. So those are always coming out. Yeah, I love it. And I didn't understand reaction videos when I first started doing them, but people keep telling me to do more, so I keep doing them. So I enjoy that. Those are always coming out all the time. But I've also started streaming some video games. The next music video / trailer that, because that's what I love to do, is I think the next one I'm working on is going to be using that Blue Monday music from the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer. Yeah, I already did it.
Whenever I clean my room, I just shake my ass like a thought.
Let's do Attack of the Clones. That's what's up next. And I'm just gonna
thoughts too. I want to be a thought. I want to be a Twitch thought. I want girls to objectify me over my boobs. You know, I want to wear a low hanging. You know,
General Katarn.
And I'm gonna be like, this isn't about my cleavage, okay? This is about my creative content.
Pokemon, settle down. Vase, go ahead and finish, bro.
That was it. It's just the next music video / trailer coming out is going to be Attack of the Clones, but I am going to be doing after that Revenge of the Sith at some point.
Nice.
I'm going to be doing the original trilogy, and then I'm probably going to do like fucking Katarn. Calm down, all right?
I'll be sure.
And then I'm going to do Lord of the Rings, and now I'm done talking.
It's a Vase Productions. Go over and subscribe to my man.
Check it out. I am hyping my man here. This is what I am. I'm the hype man. You talked about 2 movies that I like, or Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I kind of like it, dude. I kind of like it, kid.
So, General Katarn, what you got coming up on your channel, bro?
I've got the Twitter parody that I taught you, I told you about being a fan, and of course, I'm making a Twitter parody about what a Twitter user. You've seen those Twitter users with a Ray that looks like this with the Avi of Ray, and they're like, you know, we stan Ray and stuff. So I'm making fun of them, and I'm making a video kind of like a parody. Have you guys seen JP Awaken with JP? Okay, he's this guy that basically just takes the shit out of everybody, and he mocks everyone.
All right.
Like, he makes fun of them. So I'm kind of like making a video based on that, like. I'm Simpy Simpson, and I'm a Twitter Star Wars fan, and I believe all Star Wars is good Star Wars. So I make shitty comparisons and polls and gatekeep anyone with opposing views. Ask my good friend Trevor. We're good at gatekeeping fans and being hypocrites. You know, I'm just going to take the shit out of them. I'm going to put on my simp glasses and stuff. You know, other than that, I'm very tolerant, except for people that disagree with me. They can die for cancer. But so I love everything.
Go over and follow General Katarn on Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I myself have I haven't put out a video in like 3 or 4 days, so I got to. I'll have one coming out tomorrow. You guys,
you piece of shit.
I'm fucking. I fucking feel like a lazy fuck, dude. Like I busted my ass on that fucking Star Wars video. It's got like 40 views. I'm like, well, fuck me, right? I guess I'm gonna spend another 12 hours editing then. Fuck. But no. I've got a video coming out tomorrow. You'll get videos out of me. Probably you'll get 3 more this week, and then I'll be on Adam's show Friday night. And as you see, my surroundings have changed behind me. I moved my toys around. That's to encapsulate my green screen, which will be here, fingers crossed, in a couple days. So once that pops off, things are going to pick bit. Like Jim Ross said on WWE, business is really starting to pick up, boys. So with that being said,
Hey, don't forget to tell them about your OnlyFans account.
Oh yeah, and you can check my OnlyFans out where I show my butthole. Anyway, I have been Etepa Queen of the Place to Be Reviews. I have been here with all of yous. It's a good thing I'm not demonetized like the rest of my Jews. But if I don't see you out there, you watching that spent 2 hours and 42 minutes and 57, 8, 9, 2 hours and 43 minutes listening